Well, a very good afternoon to you, and we are set to go into the Winter Equestrian Festival. Well, actually, we're still just in the morning here for our opening class today, but we're going to go right through the day here. We've got our Hermes 150 coming up and our Ethel M Chocolates 2-star Grand Prix through the afternoon as well. So it's a lovely sunny day here at the Winter Equestrian Festival. Thankfully, no sign of winter. It's a Florida winter, and we are set to go at 10:55 with our first in the Hermes 150 Classic, part of the series that runs throughout the Winter Equestrian Festival as well, and takes place across a host of venues here, and we're back into the International Arena this week as well for this championship. And our streaming brought to you by Dodd Technologies, industry leaders in creative design and technology support services for sports, entertainment, corporate and special events as well. You can head to their website, nice and easy, doddtechnologies.com. And, of course, our big events here, all supported by US Equestrian and the USEF network as well, where you can watch many of our big events here from southern Florida throughout what we call the winter. Well, no sign of winter today, I'm delighted to say. Danny Warman alongside me. We're even getting the palm trees are actually out in force today. Sunny day and sunny outlook after last night's big Grand Prix.
Yeah, absolutely. Last night's Grand Prix was very exciting. It was an interesting class. Not so many clear, but all the good ones are in the jump off. So it was a great class. And today's class also looks like it's going to take some jumping. It's quite big. Oxer's quite wide. But I think we're going to see, again, some really good partnerships out there. So I think we're going to see some good jumping.
Yeah, most of the same faces that we saw in terms of riders walking last night. Quick chats with the likes of Richie Vogel, of course, McLean Ward, etc. Yeah, they're going to kick us off with this as well. And big field for this one as well. But let's take a look at the standings, because this is a championship that runs throughout, with the climax into the Saturday night on week 11. Cian O'Connor is leading so far, shown brilliant consistency, and that's what this is about, showing consistency all the way through. Cian at the top, Shane Sweetnam in second, so an Irish 1-2 so far, and Lebanon in third with Jad Dana. He notched up a win in this series already. Michaela Langmeyer again has come through the consistent side of things, as has McLean Ward, who's stayed top 5 pretty well for the whole season so far. Conor Reagan, after a good start in the early runnings, holds at 6th place at the moment, and Molly Ashcawley in 7th on the same score. So basically they're tied in equal 6th at this stage on 1:13. A little further back to Amy Miller, Paul O'Shea and Erin Ballard completing our top 10 of this 150 series leaderboard there. And so we're going to be back in a few moments' time, Danny. We're going to take everyone through this morning's classes. So it's going to be drifting into the afternoon as well. Lots to come on that. We'll be back in a few minutes' time.
It goes like this.
Set to go then into our class here, I say through the morning and the afternoon. Getting close to the end of the morning stage, just an hour and a bit left of that before we hit high noon, and $62,500 Hermes 5-star 150 Classic here. And as you say, Danny, we're going to see some big ones early on. Richie Vogel's going to start us off with Sapanu Balu Bay, which is going to be very interesting. Ben Mayer with Fultic in the early stages of this class as well. And then into the latter part, we've got the current leader of the championship, Cian O'Connor, goes penultimate combination with Lexington. McLean Ward, First Lady, going late in that order down towards the final few. Richard Vogel with 2 in the class. Cian O'Connor with 2 in the class. Several with 2 to take a shot here for this 150 Classic, supported by Hermes, as it is right throughout the season. As you can see just down there, McLean Ward just taking a stretch out of the ring. He's been walking around with pupils in hand as well. Lily Keenan just been giving some advice there. Richie Fogel as well. And, well, good one to get some views on. Danny, you've been getting a few views on the course, talking to riders. What did you find out?
Yeah, I mean, everyone was saying sort of they think it's Oxers are quite wide, still going to take a lot of jumping. Spec'd at meter 50 today. Most of the jumps hovering right around that 150 mark. One jump at 150, no, a couple jumps at 152. But, you know, I think, again, we have a couple of the lines from the Grand Prix that are reversed and slightly different material being used. But, you know, it looks hard enough out there. It's a long enough course, really a lot of lines, a lot of related distances. We've seen that the whole week here from Anthony D'Ambrosio. And, you know, it requires the riders to have the adjustability with their horses. They need to be able to move up and shorten. Of course, we saw that in the Grand Prix last night, down the difficult line to the 4 strides to that blue Lugano Diamonds double. They really had to understand how to lengthen their horses up in that 4 stride. And I think we're going to see that again today, having to make a lot of adjustments out there. There's a couple of doubles. So we have 3 doubles, no triple. And I think it's going to be hard enough to jump this. But again, we have a strong field of horses and riders, 60 coming forward. A couple people have 2 horses in the class, which makes it a little bit... It's an interesting thing when you have 2 horses in the class, because you have your first one to kind of go and test the waters, and then you could come back on your second and, you know, have another go at it. So that makes it interesting for the riders that have 2 in it.
Or get it done on both.
Or get it done on both. We love to see that, but not easy at this meter 50 level, especially meter 50, 5-star, enough money, 62,500 for today's prize. So people know they need to sort of be on their game.
Well, a man who's right on his game is going to be coming up, but actually it looks like we're starting with Eliza Lehrman as our first to guess. That was not what I was expecting. We have got some scratches, which was 11 and 47 on your start list, but looks like Richie Fogel is not going first. Eliza Lehrman jumped a lovely couple of rounds into the qualifier earlier on this week as well for that WEF Challenge Cup. Eliza with the 5-way farms, Luna CLZ, the mare by Emerald. And so is going to be our first to go. So yes, just updating on the order is now Richie Fogel going to just become... Well, he is still down on Sapano Balobé, so not sure what's going on there. But she's going to start off. And after that good success the other day, really nice rounds, I would expect, hopefully, fingers crossed, same here.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought this horse jumped beautifully the other day, and Eliza gave it a great ride. And let's see if she can do it again. I'll take you guys through the course a little bit. Starts off the right lead. Oxer here. 6, 7, just nice 7 strides down to the Ethel Chocolates. Vertical, left-handed turn to the Mars Oxer by the in-gate. Just nice 6 there to the white plank. I think she did 9 on the outside there. She ends up having to move up a little bit in the 4. We'll see how that rides. I didn't think it would ride so forward, but she did have to move up a little bit. A little bit on the inside track for the 5, 1. Does 7 here. So again, that's that kind of reverse of the line that we saw in the Grand Prix last night. Then left-handed turn. She goes inside the Mars Oxer to the skinny. Does steady 8. Does pick up the back pole there. Stays a little bit on it there to the double verticals. Has A and B, and then does 5 to the last. So that last line, I think, going to be a little bit tricky for people. It's interesting we see double verticals like that on a curve. It's almost a very separate line, a 90-degree curve from the Hermes Oxer. You can kind of break it up and ride it almost as 2 separate lines. So we'll see how that affects it. A lot of times we see double verticals in a related distance, but on a straight line. Here you have the bend where you can make a different kind of call depending on your horse's stride so that you can get straight and balanced to it.
Total 12:63.85, and with the time allowed at 71. Well inside that for Eliza Lehrman and Luna CLZ. Jumps and say some very good rounds a little earlier on into the week. Michaela Langmeier now, and now for the 23-year-old rider taking on this course with Giselle NS for Mumlind Langmeier, the mare by Balou de Roy. And again, it's been an interesting week of those starting to step the horses into the 5-star. A number elected not to do the Grand Prix. That was going to be the step too far, and then this has been the pass of the week to aim at this.
Absolutely. I think, 5-star Grand Prix is a serious ask, and a lot of these horses and riders just thinking, you know what, maybe the horse isn't quite ready for it yet, and then opting to jump this class today, which is a Grand Prix in its own right. I mean, this would be a 3-star Grand Prix in most places around the world. So this is not such a simple ask today either, but it's certainly a different question than a 5-star Grand Prix that we see under the lights. Strong ride here to that Liverpool. And then there you can see the horse's front legs a little bit tangled in A and then doesn't have the power to kind of jump B. And a bit of a stretch there at the Black Oxer, having the back pull down. You can see the horse really stretched across the back, just not able to get there. Rode that line beautifully. So she stays out, does the steady 9, which I think works out really well. Then she had the balance to get through the double verticals, moves up a little bit to the last.
Little skip through the finish, 66.53, handling the time okay, and Michaela Langmeier and Giselle NS, I say time allowed is 71 seconds. That's not causing any great issue right now. Michaela there finishing on 12, but again, a Pathfinder that again is stepping up to a new level this week. Pier Giorgio Bucci of Italy, the Iron Horse Farms Emerald's Dream, horse that he actually won with in Sarasota just the other day, the Italian rider heading over here for the winter as well. Regular appearances in European Championships for PG, and again, it is again a good mission step up for this horse.
Yeah, absolutely. This horse, I have not seen it go so much, but I know PG is really great at developing horses and bringing them up and knowing exactly the time of when they're ready, when they're not ready. There just looked like he had quite a lot of speed actually at the vertical. And the horse just sort of never really took the time to set the hind legs and jump around it. He kind of just kept moving forward as he took off. And that's why that came down like that. Jumps through that double nicely. Moves up again a little bit in that 4. We'll see. We know that Lugano Diamond's blue double has caused trouble all week long. And, with a vertical coming out of a double, you would think that they would actually land a little bit further away. But that 4 still riding up a little bit forward. Beautiful jump there. The horse really set himself, jumped big and high and around that Black Oxer. And good jump there. And here, again, the other day he also had trouble turning to the right. And the horse just looks like he blocks a little bit. And just doesn't quite want to turn as the course goes on. It was similar the other day, just getting near the end of the course, the horse just gets a little bit blocked on that right side, but comes back here, and you can see he went to take a little bit of a spook at it, and then just not going to work out.
Not interested today, I'm afraid. It is going to be elimination there for Pier Giorgio Bucci and Emerald's Dream. It's, as you say, a very new combination together. It was, they went nicely in Terra Nova in Sarasota the other day, but not to be today. It's always the ups and downs of the development stages.
Yes, it is.
René Dittmer next, the German rider with Burlington Riverland. Multi-wins at the Washington International. This for the Live Oak Plantation, and that's for the Reed family. And René, other half of Chloe Reed. And he had wonderful success winning the Grand Prix, 4-star Grand Prix here back in December as well, but just had a wonderful fall season. And going to be really interested to see how he gets on with this French-bred gelding by Milord Carthago for the German rider. Again, who's produced a whole host of horses, also has headed back. Had a week out in Germany, I think, the other day, back into Europe for a show there, and then back here again, and unfortunately has the first fence down.
Yeah, very annoying. I was chatting with Renee the other day, and I think this horse maybe had been on a little bit of a break, and then just coming back, and he was happy to have him back up at this level. Unfortunately, of course, first jump coming down. That's one of those jumps. Some people will always say it's a rider, or the first and the last jump are kind of a rider jump. And but I think sometimes the horses are just a little bit distracted, or maybe their warm-up didn't quite go as you planned, and or you're in the ring for a little bit too long, and then the horses just get a little bit complacent. And always a frustrating jump to have at the first. But it looks like he's jumping well now.
Yeah. And as you say, just sort of really getting back into this as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like if he's been on a break for a little bit, then just coming back up to this level, you're not going to be too upset if he has a jump or two down. Just wanting to get him back into the swing of things. And again, as the jumps get bigger, that's where the horses actually, you can't just say, all right, they're fit and they're healthy and we're jumping meter 30. Yeah, jumping meter 50 is a whole nother game.
Yeah.
So, got to get the horses back up to that level.
A little bit steadier at 70.26, but not too worried there, as you say, just going to take things steady. Had the first fence, had another one around the course. But again, not a disaster by any stretch of the imagination. René Dittmer and Burlington Riverland there, and as you say, just stepping back into the top flight. Now, the horse that's moving up the gears as well is our next for Jessica Springsteen, and it is Naomi, the Belgian-bred mare by Cardento for the home base of the Stonehill Farm.
She had a really good round on this horse the other day. I think she finished in 5th or 6th, and she's been doing really well. She almost won this class a couple of weeks ago on this one as well. Yes. So this horse has really been developing well.
And Naomi's, 10 now, so she's just coming to the right time, just starting to get a bit more exposure this year.
Exactly. Actually, I think she might be 11. But just sort of peaking now, just coming up to this stage. And I know Jessie's been developing this horse for a couple of years, and she thinks really highly of her. Very scopy horse, jumps easily, and very, very fast. Jessie's been incredibly fast on this horse in a lot of classes. Beautiful jump there. Really set herself at B of the double. It was a really athletic move from the horse.
Curve in the line to this double night. Oh.
Just gets there a little bit early. It's a little bit short there in that double, and she just got there to the front pole a little bit early, jump forward. I thought she jumped in well. Steadies up nice there for that. Stays on the 8 coming in. A little bit of a rub, a little bit of a late fall on that pole. She was still she kind of went straight, and then the last stride made the turn to it, doing the 8. And we'll see. People are doing 8 or 9 there. I think I like the 9. I think it's a little bit more patient coming into that double. But you got to think about the time allowed. And it does naturally walk sort of 8 on the curve. But it's one of those lines, because you have so many steps and it is a 90-degree turn, 2 double verticals, it's maybe the place where you put in an extra stride to just get the little extra bit of balance of the horses.
But again, I mean, she's running 65, 67. You have time. You've got time.
Yeah.
You have got time to play with that. But again, it's the usual thing, perfect hindsight.
Absolutely.
It's Jessica Mendoza now and Chuck Bass as the stallion by Centadel. 13 years of age. For this horse, again, that's been ready to go for her. Again, she's been coming nicely through the 2 stars and so forth this season. This is, again, the part of the year where they start to go, okay, let's just test it a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're just building the partnership.
And for her, she's really had a whole list of new horses in there. She had Play and various others that moved on, and it's been a reload.
Yeah, and then she's kind of rebuilding.
Saw her last night with a very good Irish horse that she's just, again, getting some mileage into in their first 5-star Grand Prix together last night.
Yeah.
Ooh, just reaches there.
Yeah, just maybe a tiny bit off it, and then the horse, you could see, kind of put his front legs down kind of in the middle, just maybe questioning, almost a little bit of a spook, just a misjudgment on how that jump was. And there, it looked like maybe she was going to be a bit on a half stride, and the horse went to take a little bit of a bid to it, and she thought, no, we're not getting there the way I want. Better, let's make a little circle and try to approach it in a way that'll be safe and positive experience for the horse. There we go. Beautiful jump. So she also stays there on the 8 and then kind of turns right at the last minute to it. It's a little bit of an awkward line. And, yeah, again, we'll have to see what people end up doing.
So Jessica Mendoza then finishing on 12+ time there as well, 87.88 for Jess and Chuck Bass. And
All right.
Yeah,
here's our winner from last night.
Yeah, it sounds like they had a tack issue at the last minute, which is why they had a little bit of a change around. 26-year-old Richard Vogel now, and the Coleridge equestrian Sapano Balubay, last year's Rolex Grand Prix winners, and of course he was winner last night with United Touch. He won in Geneva as well. He's got a lot coming up. He'll head out to Dutch Masters too.
Yeah, next week I think he goes to see if he can.
First fence down.
First fence down.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're trying not to curse anyone, but.
We're seeing that. It's a bit of an awkward first jump.
Yeah.
It's sort of set in the midway part of the ring, and then it's off the long side of the ring, and then you kind of have to make a short turn to it. There's not like a nice long approach to it.
But you've got, so the length of the arena to work, and then you've got
you got to make a short turn and then jump the jump. It's an awkward place for jump one. We don't normally see things like that. We either see jumps on the end of the ring, on the short side of the ring, or on the long side where you can get a nice approach, and jump one here is sort of both.
Back to your point earlier, it's been put there for a reason.
Absolutely, and it is catching people out.
I'm sure going to be a little bit frustrated if that's the only one. He's also got Sidello to come into this class as well a little later on, the horse he won a Grand Prix on, back to, I think, week 2.
Yeah, Richie's having an unbelievable past couple of months.
And the interesting thing is we keep talking about Sapano, we keep talking about United Touch. When I interviewed him back at the start of the season, I said, which is the horse to watch out for? And he went Sidello.
Yeah. And that's the one that won the 3-star. And so we'll see him on that one in a little bit as well.
Finished on just 4:67 to 68. Just that first fence down for Richard Vogel there and Sapano Balubay. Still the best score on the board so far. Just the one rider with 4 faults. Jessica Springsteen after that on 8. Rennie Dittmer on 8.
So not so simple out there. We're not seeing, we're actually seeing quite a lot of faults come down. Only the one on the 4 faults. So it's like I thought. It's taken a little bit of jumping. But again, now we're going to see Ben, who is the master. Let's see what he can do.
Well, and he's sitting on the horse that he rode at the World Championships in 2022. He's won a number of big classes on this horse as well. Now, interestingly, again, he's just been quietly going with full tick.
Yeah, he has not jumped any of the big classes.
Which means there's another plan there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's working his way up. Ben is in a very privileged position right now to have multiple meter 60 horses and championship level horses. So he can pick and choose his classes really, really well and build up for what he wants. And again, you said this is his horse from the World Championship. I would imagine that he's just building and aiming for some of the 5 stars later in season.
Yeah, I would think this. Yeah, exactly. We can guess what it is. I'm not going to go and guess what it is, but I can take a good shot at what the aim is. But we'll see. As you say, again, he's got options from that point of view. Yeah. Shame to see he and Kent have a fence to stand last night. That would have been a nice showdown at the end, but we may get a little bit more of that.
Actually, they both had 2 down, which was unexpected. Unusual. Yeah. I was sure at least one of them was going to make it through.
But nice to see Fultic back in action. The last few weeks he's been going to Dallas, better known as Tilly. Yeah. And Anjou last night.
Yeah. But again, this is an unbelievable year on the show schedule these days. Do you know that there are over 90 5-star competitions throughout the year?
I think we're past 100 as
well. Are
we?
Yeah. I calculated the other day, and I saw over 90. But still, that is a tremendous amount of top-level jumping that you can do. Yeah. The question is, do you want to?
It averages around 2. It averages around 2 a week if you.
Yeah. And then amazingly, the average rider only jumps 5.5 5-stars in a year. Yeah. So of all the 100 or so that there are, they actually really aim themselves to just jump a few. But there we go.
There we go. That's how you do it. Again, not unexpected, like I say, sitting on his World Championship horse, Ben Mayer and Fultic HB. But again, he's not going too deep into the well with that horse.
No, I think this was a nice kind of for this horse and Ben, just a nice kind of simple class. And as we all know, Ben's execution is so precise, and he just kind of popped right around there like it was nothing.
Belgium's Emily Conter now, the Stefex Stables Ocean Quality, the family business of the Stefex Stables. Dad Stefan Conter here as well this week. Ocean Quality, the Belgian-bred mare by Baltic VDL. Emily, who came very successfully through young riders, and now on this 10-year-old set to go. Again, both she and sister Zoe here. And both last few seasons have had a very good run here that's set them up well for the year.
Absolutely. They've been doing really, really well. And I've seen this horse jump a lot. I really like this horse. I remember with Charlotte Smet in Belgium before Emily took over the ride. And it's a really, really well-bred horse. It comes out of the family of the Holstein Stallion Contender. And again, we just saw Baltic jump, and this is Baltic, and this is out of Baltic, which is the same father as Ben's horse. She's looking good so far. She's been riding more and more consistently, unfortunately. Just a little bit still kind of on the curve there as she jumped that offset Liverpool. And again, that's not the easiest jump to jump. I thought actually last night they jumped it better than we normally see. We saw it come down only a couple of times last night. But when you have that offset Liverpool, horses just kind of stare down at the Liverpool on the backside of the jump, and then they don't really study the top pole. That's why we see that come down.
Nice shot at the last. Just finishing on the 4. 67.54. Time is not putting any great pressure on them. 71 seconds time allowed. Emily Conte and Ocean Quality just on the 4 faults. So we've got 1 clear with Ben Mayer and Faltic HB. Emily, in fact, going into 2nd place there ahead of Rishi Vogel and Sapanu Balu Bay. 67.54 from Emily. 67.68 from Richie, and then Jessica Springsteen after that on the 8 faults. Natalie Dean now, Marigold Sport Horses, Chadora Lady, the mare by Chaco Blue. And
so we'll see Ben, her coach, just jumped clear. I'm sure he had a couple of wise words for her as he walked out of the ring right before she walked in.
And again, interesting to see her starting to bring this horse out. I mean, she's got a good string around her. She's now, she eased off a bit this week. She didn't jump the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Kept her coater and so forth back. And now just starting to use this horse a little bit more, which has impressed us over the last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This horse was in Europe. I remember it with Marlon Zanatelli and Angelica as well, his wife. So both of them actually had ridden this horse in Europe. And this horse is by Chaco Blue, which is the same father as Explosion.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Ben then maybe has some words for her about riding the Explosion progeny. But this horse having a lot of blood, which is the quality that we really see out of the Chaco Blues. But this is a really sporty horse to see. It's looking good so far. She'll have to come in nice and steady here. Good use of her upper body. Oh, and then she does have B down, unfortunately. Otherwise, that was quite a solid round.
Yeah, leaves them on the 4 faults, 63.38. Again, time wasn't an issue. Cruises around there for Natalie Dean and Chadora Lady. Your thoughts on that double?
You know, it's one of those things. You have double verticals. It's also those sort of tangerine rails that they use in the doubles here in Wellington all the time. It's set off of this 90-degree turn. It's at the end of the course. The horses are a little bit tired. They're a little bit strong. They get a little bit more strung out as the course goes, and it's the most delicate thing to jump through at the end. And then it's on that 90-degree turn, and anyone who seems to be doing the 8, it's not really working out. Okay, she did the 9 also and came in steady. I thought she jumped A really well, but just not enough height in the body over B.
Elise Oken now, High Hopes Farm of North Carolina's Forestal, the gelding by Don Diorado. Elise just back from Abu Dhabi, from being on the team there as part of the Nations Cup for Team USA. Went very well last year into several of the Nations Cups too on Jelvira as well. Got the step up there into the 5 stars, been on the winning lineup in the likes of Drummond in Norway as well.
Nicely done there. One thing I think Elise does really well is she's always kind of putting energy into the horses. She has a little bit of a closed hip angle to her style. She stays with the horses really nicely over the top of the jump. Oh, a little bit of a late fault there coming into the double. She sort of was already taken off at B as A fell. There you can see she made a little bit of an adjustment and then came back forward again. And here she's going to need to slow it down. You can see she's trying to. Does she get it done? Yes, she does. Stays out a little bit there in the 5. And there we go. Now we've assured ourselves of a jump off.
Well, we had a fence down.
Did we? Oh, no, yeah, we had
a fence down. Yeah, it's on 4.
Sorry.
66.53. Yeah, it says
You're
clear,
right.
but it's not. I'm not
It's
sure.
not.
They'll pick up on that in a second, but it was 4 faults there for Elise Oken and Forestal. On to now Laura Crouch and Stars and Stripes Calgary Tame, French-bred gelding by Old Chap Tame for last year's winner of the Grand Prix here. She had the night off last night. And now she's fresh and ready to go for today.
Absolutely. She had a great day the other day in our meter 50 as well. Yeah. So I think she's setting up for this class this week.
Or, of course, part of the team that won gold at the Pan Am Games last year. She riding probably the key round, the big pressure round to win the gold, and actually just basically also secure the place for the USA into the Olympic Games as well. So a lot was on her shoulders, which she delivered as she does again and again.
Exactly. I think someone like Laura, pressure only makes her wake up and ride better. The more pressure I think she has as an anchor rider for the U.S., so much tremendous amount of experience, pressure not getting to her at all, if anything, just making her sharper.
And I always like the breeding of this horse, Calgary Tame, old chap Tame you'd remember as well, with the Angos, and of course out of Devendi, which was Jessica Springsteen's very fast horse.
I remember that horse. If anyone remembers it, it was a little plain bay mare with kind of a big head, a little bit downhill balance, but boy, was that a lightning fast.
It went like a rocket.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the fastest horses out there at the time. It was, Jessie could just run at the jumps, and the horse was so lightning careful.
Laura, as ever, doing a terrific job here. Time isn't going to be an issue. Just take the care here. This is where it's catching them. And again, the fact it's a little bit offset. It's not like coming right into the corner. You've got to really place yourself.
I think you need to get very straight, and you need to be very, very slow and balanced coming in there. You know, it's not a nice color. It kind of blends in with the ground a little bit. It's, like I said, it's late in the course. The horses are a little bit fatigued. And, you know, when they get a little bit strong and the balance gets lower and lower as you go around the course, and then you got to set up and jump the jump that needs the most balance and the most control and the most patience, it's very hard when it's set at the end of the course, which is exactly what Anthony D'Ambrosio was sort of banking on.
Cathy Driscoll now up to world number 60, well inside that top 100 for the Plain Bay Farms. Casaletto this time, the gelding by Cascadello. And again, last year was when she moved up a gear into her season as well. Went terrifically in Traverse City, but then competing more and more of the 5 stars. Again, is becoming a regular face in the 5 stars now. But you can see how consistent she's been to get herself in the top 100 based on that too.
Unbelievable, actually. I think she's done a tremendous job. And, of course, she was really good to win our speed class the other day. Yep. It was quite a speedy class, and she just...
Well, Flotilla likes a good run around.
Yes. It's amazing, actually, I think, what, you know, a good win like that can really do for confidence. And I think she's done a tremendous job with a number of different horses. Nice, strong ride here. Uses her body there to slow the arc of the horse jump. The horses jump around that skinny. Now let's see how this double works out for her. She stays a little bit on that inside track, but she gets right to the base and nice and slow. There, the horse you can see really curled around those and jump beautifully.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
68.17 gives us the second clear round. Cathy Driscoll and Casaletto, as you say, could just steady down coming to the double. And with what the course designer's done here, both of them, Anthony D'Ambrosio and Sandy Christensen, have given them space, the riders, in terms of time, because at the time at 71 you have got that bit of breathing space. You're not, if you were more under pressure coming under there, that would almost get, it would be a double whammy.
Yeah, I think you'd have to think, I got to do the 8 because I'm worried about the time, and in this case you can really do 9. I mean, you could almost stay out and do 10 if you had to really get the balance back. But like I said, confidence, she won the class the other day. Confidence goes a long way in terms of creating success consistently. And this horse, of course, that we're looking at now has won one of these classes already and been really on a winning streak with Shane. We're looking at Irondale du Flot.
Yes, won here, as you say, just a couple of weeks ago as well. Not the easiest of conditions when they do.
No, it was absolutely
shucking down.
Deluging rain. It was horrible. Shane did an unbelievable job to just ignore it and win anyway.
Well, you know, it's the Irish thrive in
they're
those
used
conditions.
To it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Not casting aspersions, but I also remember Cameron Hanley riding a Nations Cup at Hickstead in similar conditions, and everyone said it's horrendous. He went out there and rode the most beautiful clear, and everyone said, well, get on with it.
Yeah, exactly.
As simple as that. But anyway,
just
Shane,
a little bit of water. Oh, not going to win today, however. This horse has actually been tremendously consistent
Yes.
It's had a little bit of unlucky this week, a fault here, a fault there. But in general, it's been tremendously consistent and won that a couple of weeks ago when he won this class out on the rain on the field. He had also won the meter 45 earlier in the week as well. So just a little bit unlucky this week, but a super one for Shane.
Leaves them on 1 down on 4 at 67.73. You got, 5, 6 combinations just on the 4 faults now. Natalie Dean, Laura Crouch, Lisa Oken, Emily Conser, Richard Vogel, and now Shane Sweetnam. In fact, the steadiest of the group, 67.73, so he goes into 8th place so far. 2 clears at this point. Gabriel de Matos Machado of Brazil and the Vortex LLC's mare Donna, Thunder van der Zoetever. This is the Donna that was with Peter Leone, as I remember.
I think it is. I think you are correct.
Yeah, they both moved on.
I think Laura Kraut also rode this horse.
Gabriel again getting a few more big starts here in Wellington this season and has taken good advantage of it.
Looking good so far. This horse, you can see the last stride before the jump really kind of takes the big stride, really grabs that ground. Yeah, there you can see him really front legs kind of push off the ground like that.
Yeah.
Set the jump. There just lost a little bit of power when he did the kind of set and he jumped up real high and just not across enough. And again, like we said, the Oxers today are not necessarily terribly high, but they are quite wide.
Yeah, 160.
Yeah.
For several of them. 165 if you're looking at fence 11. And last fence there, fence 13.
Yeah, exactly. So the Oxers are very wide today.
But as you'd expect through a 5-star, as you say, this is basically the small Grand Prix, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think on a week like this, we had the WEF Challenge Cup, which is basically a 4-star Grand Prix. Then we had the 5-star Grand Prix, and this is your 3-star Grand Prix for the week.
71.83, and just going to pick up one for time as well on the 4 there, Gabriel de Matos Machado and Donna. But, again, working their way through the season well, putting some good results together. Just finishes with 1 fence down for Gabriel into 9th place.
Yeah, a little bit slow with that one-time fault. I think he was trying to take his time, leave those jumps up, but with the 1 down.
Michaela Langmeyer already into the second rides for some of these riders, and this is the US rider with the Rafty Farm of California's Chadina, mare by Contagos for the 23-year-old.
And again, she's sitting pretty high up on our standings list. I think she's sitting in 4th, maybe?
Yeah.
Something like that. And so she's been very consistent in this series so far this season. And I was going to say so far, but honestly, we're already at week 7.
We're already week 7 now. I started having a discussion this morning about things. Went, oh, crikey, we've got to think about what we're doing on week 12.
I know, crazy. Amazing how it starts, and it's a little slow to start, and then all of a sudden you're more than halfway through.
Yeah.
And you think, whoa, we're almost at the end. We got another month left.
Are you saying you want to make it longer?
No. Well, I don't know if I want it longer, but I do.
I want to enjoy it.
I want to say I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy every single day that we're here and enjoy that I'm not in cold, rainy Amsterdam.
Just gets a little bit tight through the double.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen that front pole come down a couple of times, and the double is a little bit short, and you just see that the horse is a little bit the balance. It's sort of set again on that. There's a little bit of a crown on the ring at that portion of the center part, and just kind of on the downhill and with a little bit short, and it's easy to just kind of get there a little bit too early. She rode that really well through the double. And gets over the last, but with that 1 down.
Yeah, 1 down coming out of the double on the 4 there, 68.30, same fence as Lizzie Oken. So it is just on 4 for Michaela Langmeyer and Chadina this time. Takes us, what's that, 17 gone of our long list of those coming through. We've got just around the 60 mark in total. Rodrigo Pessoa of Brazil. Artemis Equestrian Farms, their leader, former ride of Trevor Breen of Ireland. Newer one again for Rodrigo with the mare by de Montesimi.
Yeah, but this actually been really good. It jumped clear the other day, and it was a beautiful round. It looks like Rodrigo had changed the bridle from weeks previous, and I think it seems to have made the difference. This horse, in typical Diamant style, you see sometimes, it's a funny thing to say, but sometimes they don't have the prettiest heads and a little bit bigger heads. And I think he's changed the bridle and keep the horse a little bit shorter head to tail. And I think it's really helped. Again, this horse has a lot of blood. Very sporty horse to see.
And again, that's the thing. I mean, another horse from Trevor Breen that comes up later is Highland President. But, you know, they've ridden with a rider that's ridden through to 5-star level. But again, once you take over the ride, you've got to start out what works for you and that combination together.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's not so much about is it a great rider, is it a great horse, but are you a great partnership?
Yeah.
And that's what's such a beautiful thing about our sport, is that it is about a partnership, and you're having a conversation with your horse, you're communicating with them, you know, and you want to ask things of them, and they ask things of you, and they need support, and they need to also help out, and it's really a symbiotic relationship with the horse and rider. And when you build that partnership, sometimes it's about changing the bridle, changing the tack, just making sure that you guys are all communicating on the same kind of wavelength, and that's part of building these things up.
Just on the floor at the moment for Rodrigo. Again, let's see how he rides. This one just gets out a little bit further, gives himself some space into this double.
Yeah, really took his time.
Yeah.
That was really well done.
Nicely done there. Finishing on the 4 faults. Just a shame to have one down, 67.26 for Rodrigo, Pessoa and Delida. But again, you see with that horse, we saw it, you know, in prime last night with the likes of Major Tom. You know, he's patient with bringing those partnerships on. That's the thing. Yeah. It's very easy to rush into these things, but that's why he gets longevity in what they're doing. I think, you know, like with Major Tom as well, they're especially going to probably have a very big year this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think eyeing the Olympics, of course, I'm sure that's on their radar. But having the other ones to support that string and developing them properly, always been a strong point of Rodrigo's.
Caroline Mawhinney and the Californian with Car CZ gelding by Cartino. Again, newer ride for the just 18-year-old rider, but she's already whizzing up the rankings. Wins here in Florida, whether it's over at Terra Nova, whether it's here, and a list of them through the season. She went very well at the Split Rock shows as well for Caroline. Trains with Jessica Mendoza, and like Jess in her early days as well, fast against the clock and chasing in, and just got great bravery and ability, and is really belying her youthful years so far, a bit like the Mimi Gotchmans.
Yes, absolutely. I think she's been doing really well. Ooh,
just got a little bit further there.
Yeah, the horse just really double pumped a little bit as he kind of took off at the oxer. It was a really great effort and athleticism out of the horse to say, no, I'm trying. I don't want to get over it. I want to get over it. And so it's a nice effort. Again, like we said, new partnership, but I've been really liking what I'm seeing with this partnership. I think they're certainly gelling well together. Just working out kind of the final kinks to get those clear rounds, but it's looking like it's certainly coming together nicely. Just a little bit far off it. The horse really jumped up and then not quite across it. Again, like we said, 1.65 m in width at that jump. So it is a wide oxer, and jumped up and just didn't quite get across that back.
Yeah, just leaves them on the 4, 66.124 there for Caroline Mawhinney and Car CZ.
But it looks like that partnership really is developing well. They're very close to those clear rounds. Just some final touches. Again, she made it all the way through the course just to the end. And so I think that, again, is going to be a strong partnership.
Having a little look at the turn there for Alex Matz. And Alex with Adele Dilschneider Racing Stables, Illuminati MBF, the Dutch bred gelding by Vivot. Of course, the family also with a strong racing connection.
Yes, of course.
Dad and mum as well. So, yes, and the whole family.
Horses in the family.
Horses in the family, whether it's racing or jumping, but it's all
and polo.
And polo, absolutely.
Yes. His half-brothers also an excellent polo rider.
Yeah. Now, Alex.
He's been riding really well and has a number of horses jumping at this high level. Nice there. Looks like almost a little bit of a touch on the back pole, but it was a very light touch. And there it does have that down behind. Was trying to sort of give himself space in the 5, so I think he set up that turn, but the horse just didn't quite finish the jump behind.
Just on the 4 at the moment. Again, some of those fences, again, very deliberately, just slightly on the angles, etc. There's nothing really to sort of bend yourself off. It's like you've got to set this up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, this course today really requiring a lot of adjustments and rideability. And also just got there a little bit early at the Hermes Oxer. Just kind of pushed that front pole out of the way.
Finishes on a score of 8.66.90 for Alex Matz this time with the Illuminati MBF. Tiffany Foster, Artisan Farms Cadence, the gelding bike Grand Slam for Tiffany. 9-year-old here for Tiff. Oop, just a little hesitation for a moment.
Just a little pause.
A little pause. We saw it in action last night on Battle Cry, the horse she won the NetJets Grand Prix on here a few weeks ago as well. She was having a little chat to you about the course as well. What was her thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it, and again, she was the one specifically saying she thought the Oxer seemed very wide. Coming out of the gold and black double is wide. The last jump is wide. The Hermes is wide. So I think she's definitely thinking about that today, just making sure she'll add a little extra leg at those jumps to jump across the Oxers, especially with a 9-year-old that is a little bit green at this level. You know, the course is set to the maximum that it can be, 4.50 m, with a lot of the related distances. So we'll see how this 9-year-old handles it. Does the nice 7 patient there. Beautiful jump, really jumps up and around the jumps. Good job there. She got really to the base of A. That was beautifully done. A little bit moves up in that 4. Now she'll steady up for this. Beautiful jump around that through the double. Sets this up. Horse seems to like to really get to the base of the jumps. It's not one that she wants to be too far off. She wants to get right to the base and trust that the front end will jump up and around that front pole. Beautiful there. And by doing that, she really helps create the balance in the jump. Curls around, curled around A, but just got a little bit low at B with the front end. Unfortunate. Actually, I think the horse handled that round very well. Yeah. You can see she gives him a good pet, saying, "You're just 9. You handled that beautifully."
69.63 and just on 4 faults for Tiffany Foster. But yes, very much an upward trend with Cadence for the Canadian. Clears, we've got 2 of those at the moment, Ben Mayer and Kathleen Driscoll, Fultic and Casaletto. And where are we going now? We're going to Ashley Bond and the world number 51. And Ashley with the Aurora Farms and her own Elka de la Pomme.
She won a class earlier in the week on this horse, one of the opening classes for the 5-star. Looking like she's making a circle. I don't know if she thought that the start clock had gone or not. That's what she was checking the board to see, is it going or not? Did I miss it? But she's good, and off she goes. She's just been developing this horse up to the higher levels. And it's been coming along nicely. I really like this horse. I think it's very sporty. Takes the big one out of the corner there to the Mars Equestrian Oxer. I think this is a tremendously athletic animal. Very sporty. There, she really steadied up for the 4. Some people are sort of having to reach in the 4, but she got there easy. Great jump there. Really pat the ground in the middle of the double to push off and jump around in the short double. Really backed up, great, jumped around it. This is jumping a beautiful round at the moment. Just needs to hold it together for this delicate end of the course. She does an extra one there just to steady up, jump around it. She's looking good. 1 left, she's plenty time. And there we go.
Good. It is the clears then for Ashley Bond and Elka de la Pomme as they give us clear round number 3. As you say, they've just been going in the right direction. Just a little blip a few weeks ago and now very much in the frame again. That's the thing. Bounce back and off we go. Last night in with Donatello as well. And again, as Elka comes on, can take a little bit of pressure off Donnie as well.
I think that horse is, Elka horse is actually going to end up being a really great horse for her. I think she's going to jump some big classes on that one.
Jadana. And winner already this season in the early stages of the MS 150 Classics. Jad with the Winmont's ABC Quantum Cruise, this Irish mare by OBS Quality. Now 15 years of age, several riders previous to this. And now again settles in with the Dana ride.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, as we all know, Jad is such a competitive rider. And when he gels with a horse, it just can be unbeatable. This horse really can run him a little bit close to the distance. It has a lot of blood, so he's just about controlling that so that he can get there and the horse can take his time and jump the jumps. It wants to be a little bit quick. So Jad just trying to keep it all contained and organized. Very eager horse. Big leg out there. Just encouraging the horse. Come on, stretch across. And he's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Now you can see him. He's shortening his reins a little bit, reorganizing, taking his time.
Because, again, he's got time here, which is the good thing.
Exactly.
I don't mean he's got time, for he has space.
Exactly. Right to the, there, just lost all the power as he took off. He backed up. Horse kind of dragged him in a little bit. Ooh. And then a little bit spooking. Second time we've seen that happen a little bit today. I think the horses either don't pick up on it or just because you kind of go straight and then you make a 90-degree turn and have like one stride to jump it, horses are just not picking up on it because you see he comes right back around to jump it just fine. But it's like you go straight and then you're like, no, turn, jump. And the horses are just not picking up on that at all.
Well, it's a shame. It was coming together well, but 8 and 10 in the end, so 18 in total for Jad Dana with the 10 time in there with ABC Quantum Cruise. Again, just caught out at the end of the course. Ken Farrington now, the world number 4 with Hetty McNerney's Myla. Holstein mare by Crunch 3. Again, a 9-year-old here for Kent. We talked a lot about his extending list of good horses for the last year's Pan Am team and individual silver medalist. But again, has just had a really good program of plotting that out. And as ones come through, the next set are coming through, and does so much behind the scenes before you see them as show as well, which is the professional thing to do.
Yeah. Oh, and then we see number 1 come down again.
Joins the list alongside Richie Vogel. So it's a pretty illustrious list so far.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the list anyone wants to be on, but. No, we're seeing that first jump catching a bunch of the riders out. It is just, like I said, a little bit awkward to get to. Something about today's course, there's a slight awkwardness to it. It's not necessarily that it's tricky or something like this. It's just a little bit, like you said, the angles are slightly off and nothing is sort of, it's just slightly awkward, a little bit unexpected. It's like not really where you think things are going to be or where horses and riders are used to jumps being placed, and it just creates a little bit of an unknown.
But that's there for you to sort out.
It is. That is the rider's job.
That's what you're there for.
Exactly. Well, they are pilots up there. Their job to pilot the horses.
Now, this is looking nice so far. What do you make of Myla?
Yeah, I mean, I like this horse. I think it's very, very sporty to see, and really a Kent type of horse, bloody, light, and I think it's going to be a really good one. Again, that's you know, just having the first jump down handles the rest of the course beautifully. Yeah,
just on 4:67.05. Number 1 is just on the ground for Kent Farrington and Myla this time. Like I say, it's been a list so far of those that have had the first, surprisingly. Let's move on to Jordan Coyle for the Land Farm with Ariso, Swedish-bred gelding. Now, 13 years of age. We've seen this horse plenty of times. Won the 5-star Grand Prix in Thermal back a season or so before now as well. And again, a little bit of an unusual start, as we'll see from this Casal side horse. But they work very, very well. And as I was talking about last night, I mean, he's got probably one of the most diverse group of horses.
Yeah, he does.
You take First Gold, that's much smaller.
Yeah, totally different type of horse than this. This is a little bit slower, big scopy thing, and then the For Gold horse is a much smaller, compact little horse. So it's, you know.
And then the horse he rode last night, different type.
Yeah,
again,
totally
more
different. Another
type.
big classic type, exactly. So, you know, he is a very versatile rider. Big jump there at the Mars. But very versatile, unique style, but truly one of the fastest riders in the world, most competitive riders, and has had tremendous success. He's based here in the U.S., and he just, everywhere he goes, seems to pull it out and be quick and beat people in the jump off. And he does it in his own way, but it's very effective. I mean, both of the Coyle brothers are tremendously effective riders up there.
Yeah, Daniel winning at Ocala last night as well.
Yeah, Daniel's has been on an unbelievable run, winning those back-to-back World Cup qualifiers, and so they are both doing amazing. It's nice when everyone in the family is successful.
Yeah, I just wonder whether that was going to get a little bit tough for them.
Yeah, exactly. The balance gets a little bit low, and then again, you have to make that turn right there at the end. Like, I almost want you to not have to. You want the riders to sort of jump the Hermes as a standalone jump, and then think, okay, the double verticals is coming up. I'm not worried about staying in an 8 or doing out in 9. Don't think about so much the number. Think about the track and the balance, and come in slow and balanced. That's so much more important than just trying to stay stuck on a number.
And you just don't want to see it late.
Exactly, because you have to go after the Hermes, you have to go very straight. You can almost see it here from the camera.
Yeah.
You have to go straight for about 6-7 strides, and then you make a 90-degree turn, 1 or 2 strides, and you have to jump the double verticals. So it's one of those things that you need to really just take your time and break it up in your mind and separate it. And then, when the balance gets low at the end of the course, it just makes it really hard.
Dermot Lennon, Anthem in My Heart for the former world champion. And well, it's going to be an early rail for him. Again, newer one into this level, the 10-year-old Irish-bred gelding for Dermot.
Yeah, just looked like he got a little bit low in the body and a little bit quick at number 2. Just kind of jumped right into it a bit. A little bit shifty as he took off. And again, I was saying, it was hard. I couldn't find the breeding actually on this horse. No. I think it's from a thoroughbred in Ireland.
Yeah, we'll ask him when we see.
Yeah, I'd like to ask him. Actually, I'd be curious about it because it's actually a nice horse. I like it to see. So always interested when you don't know where it comes from.
Dermot having done also the Mexican tour of 5-star shows back into the fall of 2023.
Athletic move there. He was a little bit far off it, and the horse just kind of used his body and jumps through that really well. Again, it'll be really unfortunate just to have had that second jump down.
Yeah, it is. Down goes the Ethel M Chocolate vertical, finishing on the 4 at 69.15 for Dermot Lennon. And Anthem in My Heart has a little look back.
So just that early fault, but nice horse.
Yeah, first couple of fences certainly accounting for a good part of the course as well, but they all count.
They all count. They do.
You don't give them all away until fence 6 and then see what happens towards the end.
Exactly. No. And we've seen actually a lot of the jumps come down kind of all over the place today, and especially that first line, which is just a bit awkwardly set across the middle of the ring.
And it is on to Paul O'Shea now of Ireland. Trelawney Farms Oilili Van Eigenlo, the Belgian-bred 10-year-old mare by Vigo de Sway for Paul. Already a Grand Prix winner this season as well, out on the turf, out on the big grass arena. And now has really just been moving this horse more up for the Trelawney Farm team.
Yeah, seen this horse jump a bit. Just 10-year-old by Vigo. It's really a nice horse. And I've been liking what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's source for Trelawney Farm, Cara Rather, Cara herself, who competed through to the Pan Am Games. Looks very tidy.
Yeah, jumping beautifully. Actually, plank not causing too much trouble today at all. Sometimes,
he just looked, I couldn't quite see what happened. He looked as though he was going to start, he was driving there.
Yeah, like he went to move up and then realized that it was
something
just a little bit of a... Maybe the horse was looking at it a little bit. Again, that Lugano Diamonds, those pale blue poles with the thick, wide plank at the base. Sometimes the horses just look at them.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and all week, the distances to them have been on a bending kind of curve to the double. Last night, it was just off of a very forward 4 strides. Actually, this horse is jumping beautifully.
Yeah.
That will have been an unfortunate thing to have happened.
He obviously saw something that wasn't, they just weren't right for it. And
just exactly.
Went, okay, pull the ripcord. Has the second part of the double down now, so makes it a total of 8 plus time 18 is the final score at 80.44 for Paul O'Shea and Oilili van Dijvenlo, but actually jumped a lot of nice fences in there.
Actually, like we said, it's a horse that he's developing, and it looks really nice. I think it was just a bit of a miscommunication. Either Paul wanted to move up, and horse was a little late to move up, or Paul moved up and then thought, "Whoa, that was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that." And then, just making a bit of a circle. But otherwise, I think horse in general, I think, had quite a positive experience.
We mentioned this one a little bit earlier on. Seidello for Richard Vogel of Germany, and for the Coleridge Equestrian, same owners as Panu Balu Bay. Gelding by Cascadello, the 10-year-old that he won the Week 2 Grand Prix on. And again, the difference between this and United Touch are just chalk and cheese.
They're so far different from each other, you can't even compare them. They're apples and oranges. United Touch, it's funny, I was watching the class last night thinking with United Touch, it's almost like he's on a different breed or a different species. It doesn't feel like it's in the same realm as everybody else. I mean, he jumps through what is a very scopy big class like it was nothing.
Yeah.
And, and he does fewer strides than other people, just so different. This is your hot little bloody, sport horse, and that hind leg really underneath it. I mean, when he jumped and he won the class out on the field a couple of weeks ago on this one,
he went
he
like
was
lightning,
flying to the jumps, and this horse just backed up as he was going fast. You can see even still has a lot of blood, and then just gets there and pops over the jumps. Such a beautiful jumper. And just organizing here. He's looking good so far. Let's see if he can get through this double verticals. Needs to stay balanced and slow. Trusting the carefulness. Curls over those. Gets over the last, and plenty of time to spare.
Nicely done, 66.37. Richie Vogel and Seidello gives the 4th clear round of the class so far. It is a strong group. Ashley Bond with Elke de la Palme, Richard Vogel and Seidello, Ben Mayer, and Faltic HB and Kathleen Driscoll. Casaletto as the clears so far. Alexandra Volpi now. Gracieux de Pachy for the gelding by Tinker's Boy. Part of the US team for the 23-year-old last year into the likes of Falsterbo. And also been here with Belinda. So she rode through those Nations Cups as well.
Yeah, I think Belinda was the one she did in the World Cup, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, World Cup finals. Yeah.
Actually, Volpe's had an unexpected week, I think, here. I think a couple of things happened early on, and she's just been coming through. She was good in the 150 on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, the early days didn't go as to plan, and now it's putting things different, back together and get the confidence going again.
Exactly. But this one's jumping good now. But that's the unique thing about our sport. It is always unexpected because we're dealing with live animals.
Oh, no. Push.
Yeah, there the horse just looked like it didn't quite. Went to take off and then stuttered really on takeoff. And got a little bit tangled in A, and then was really far away from B. Couldn't quite get over that. You can see it's hesitating and pausing a little bit on takeoff. Just getting careful. Really jumped up and around through those double verticals. Good job there to finish up. Just jumped up high at the last. Came down a little bit shallow as well. So horse just getting a little extra sharp today.
Well, finish on a total of 12:69.73 as Alex Volpe finishes there with Gracieux de Pachy. Nicola Philippart's already standing in the centre with Pandora. Belgian bred mare by Zidane. Last night on Katanga into the 5-star Grand Prix as winner from La Ball and top 5 in the Aachen Grand Prix as well. Watched this one a couple of times so far this season. I've been impressed by this too with Pandora.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is another really good one for Nicola. And it's by Zidane. And did you ever get to watch Zidane here with Chris McRae in the U.S.?
I didn't, but
yes. It was a horse that came out of the Netherlands and was tremendously successful young horse, probably the most successful young horse, I think, as a 7-year-old, and people just absolutely loved Sidon. Oh, just coming down a little bit shallow at the Mars Oxford. Actually, first time we've seen that come down today. But again, this is just a 9-year-old mare. You know, we see a couple of 9-year-olds in this class, which is an appropriate time frame for some 9-year-olds to be developing and jumping this level. But that means they are still green at this level and not so unexpected when we see a fault. Sometimes horses just, when they move up to these levels, just need to understand how much, you know, when they get to a jump, how much push they need to have, and a little bit similar thing there, just pushing off and just misjudging some of these wide oxers out here today. But for sure we'll have a good experience and develop from that well.
Finished on a score of 8.67.03, 8 faults there for Nicola for Parts and Pandora at this time. So we hit the halfway stage. We've got 4 clears at the moment. Ashley Bond, Richard Fogel, Ben Mayer and Kathleen Driscoll. Second half coming up in just a few minutes' time. Again, it sees a very strong group. A number of riders with a second horse to come in this as well, including Laura Crouch. And down to likes down the tail end, we've got Lily Keenan, Nal Nasser. Cian O'Connor with 2 in the second half. Andrew Bournes will complete the first round a little later on, and say another 30 to see yet. But Ben Mayer, Kathleen Driscoll, Ashley Bond and Richie are the clears so far.
That's
so going to be a team.
Fast jump off.
It's going to be a fast start.
It's going to be a fast start for sure. If you see those 4 in there, it's anybody's game at the moment.
And it's pretty well spread on the flags as well. Britain, USA, Ireland and Germany.
Yes.
At the moment, four powerhouse countries in the sport.
Well represented.
Well, we are going to be back in a few moments' time. We'll take a little breather and be back for the second half of the $62,500 Hermes 150 Classic.
Goes like this.
Can Jumper make you a show jumping expert? With Jumper, explore the latest event results, discover top horses and riders, and follow your favorites. Jumper delivers data from around the world, so you're always the most informed. Download now and take the guesswork out of show jumping with Jumper.
Welcome to Carlswood, the home of Irish Olympic medalist, coach and international horse producer, Cian O'Connor. At Carlswood, we pride ourselves on the belief that success is reward for effort. Set in County Meath, Carlswood is the home of Cian's industry-leading high-performance centre. The Carlswood system is based on a structured approach to daily routine and meticulous planning to help reach our goals. At Carlswood, Cian and the team work together to provide coaching, mentoring, advice on horse purchases and goal setting. We also facilitate students who wish to progress their show jumping skills while they study in universities in Ireland and across Europe. When it comes to developing your horse's fitness, scheduling and planning around competitions, no stone is left unturned. At Carlswood, we are committed to delivering quality, a place where our goal is the fulfilment of your ambition.
Can Jumper help you find your next top horse? Let's say you're looking for an 8-year-old, competing at meter 40, jumping clear 60% of the time. Jumper lets you find top horses by age, pedigree, or performance. Download now and take the guesswork out of show jumping with Jumper.
Be a part of show jumping history when the Show Jumping Hall of Fame hosts many of the sport's living legends at its annual induction gala. The gala takes place on Sunday evening, March 3rd at the Wanderers Club in Wellington. This year's inductees are Pancho Lopez, Katie Prudence, longtime barn manager, and Laura Kraut's gold medal Olympic mount Cedric. Also on hand to receive the Show Jumping Hall of Fame's second annual International Award will be former Olympic, World, and World Cup champion Rodrigo Pessoa of Brazil. Don't miss this very special evening when the Show Jumping Hall of Fame honors the history of our sport and those who have helped make it great. It's Sunday evening, March 3rd at the Wanderers Club in Wellington. Order your tickets today at showjumpinghalloffame.net.
Well, all set to return into the second half of this Hermes 5-star 150 Classic, and resuming with Kristen van der Veen, the US rider with the Bull Runs jumpers. Bull Runs has said is the now 10-year-old gelding by Christian at 25 for Kristen van der Veen. Again, another one for her moving up a gear, and Danny Woolman alongside. Danny, she's again going through a little bit of a next generation rebuild of horses here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, she has the one she jumped last night, Gira, and she had just the last jump down. It was actually a beautiful round. So just developing some new ones. And I've really liked to see this one go. Again, I saw it jump as a 9-year-old at the end of the year last year. It's 10 now. And this is a little bit of a different type than the ones we normally see with her. But it's in a good way. I really like this horse. I think it's a sporty, modern type horse. And it's just kind of coming up to this level. So let's see what she does to get us started. Amazingly, we're just on the 3 clear. It is proving to be a very difficult course out there today.
And some of it, you know, first fence down. It's not like we're sort of looking at a specific line, a difficult related line,
exactly.
or whatever. It's like you've got to be on your game right from the first go.
Yeah, we've seen almost every single fence come down out here. It's really, it's been a difficult course to jump. We've seen problems kind of all over the place, not one jump in particular. Okay, the double at the end certainly causing trouble, and the first jump causing trouble, but we've seen faults everywhere. And it's just exactly kind of how you'd want a course to play out, where each horse and rider having to make their own plan, execute, and but we're seeing trouble everywhere. But not yet for Kristen.
No,
it's looking
fingers
good.
crossed.
Yeah, she's looking good so far. Again, just the 10-year-old, but I really like this horse. There, just cut down a little bit across the back pole. Comes a bit in on this angle. Gets a little bit lucky there through the double verticals, but clears the last. So just that one down near the end.
Finished on 4:64.72. It's 4 there for Kristen van der Veen, and Bull Runs has said just finishing on the 1 rail for them. But again, watch out for that combination over the next couple of seasons. I think we'll see a lot more from them yet.
Absolutely.
Similarly, in this direction, 10-year-old Ginger Ask, who's actually grey, is the mare by Casal for Erin Ballard for Lanfurder and the Marigold Sport Horses.
What a perfect name for a chestnut.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they named it a grey one.
A grey, yes. Yeah, Grey Ask obviously had been taken.
Yeah, exactly. Funny how that is.
Gone very nicely so far. Came well through the 2-star ranks, now just getting the step up into these. As you say, we're just sort of more, with this class touching into 3-4 star.
Yeah, exactly.
On a 5-star week. But of course, with a 5-star week, there's different levels. The Grand Prix being the peak of the triangle.
Absolutely. And another funny fact, actually, it's possible, you know, that sometimes greys are born chestnut.
Yeah.
It's possible it was a chestnut as a foal when they named it. And I know that seems silly, but sometimes chestnuts, when they're born, turn into greys. But this one looking good so far. Again, by Casal. Tend to be really scopy horses. Oh, just got a little bit straight through its top line and kind of jumped up and stayed a little bit stiff maybe through the top, and then just didn't finish behind. Just kind of came down a bit early and cut down at the back pole there. Like there, it really used its body well at the Hermes. It needed to do that coming out of the double. There, she was just a little bit quick and imbalanced and just kind of on the turn as she jumped that.
Going to leave them on the 8 faults, 68.19. It's 2 down for Erin Ballard and Ginger Ask this time. Regards to the colour, we'll see, I think a bit more of that one. They came through nicely. They won in Vancouver last year as well, if memory serves too. And yeah, it's good stuff. Just got game over. So that was the one that went for Vancouver as well, which was nice. To come along too. We're going to go on to Cian O'Connor. First of 2 for Cian O'Connor. Pat Green's Highland President. I mentioned this one a little bit earlier on. Was horse actually Trevor Breen of Ireland rode through to the Nations Cup final. 12-year-old that basically coming into the string as a ready-to-go top-flight horse.
Yep, absolutely. This one, 12 years old already. Some of the other ones Cian has had and bought recently have been a little bit more in the 8, 9 range and 10 and just kind of coming up to this level. This one is already 12. And but Cian just has such a tremendous amount of backing behind him and such a strong group of horses. And he's been riding well, and they've all been jumping great. Actually, the horse he rode last night, I really love, the Yves Douy horse. I think it's really a special one.
Yeah, that one for Nicky Walker, and he's leading the Hermes 150 series so far, and again through consistency.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think we were saying he actually hasn't won one of the 150s, but he's
always there.
He's leading because he's always been there, always kind of on the podium, up at the top 5. A lot of results, and again, I mean, consistency in this sport is the key.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about having that one-off spectacular win. It's about being able to do it on multiple horses in class after class at every horse show throughout the year. And again, you know, I mean, we know this sport, right? It's 52 weeks a year of showing. You could show every single week. It's not like there's a season. It's really, you need to pick and choose. And a little bit of a light rub there at B, but luckily it stayed up.
No, that doesn't.
But that one doesn't. What a shame, because it was a solid round. And actually, we hadn't seen the front pole of the last one come down until just now.
Yeah, 70.14, just that last Winston finish on the 4th for Keane O'Connor and Highland President, as you say. It's a full year now of season. The globe is a smaller place with horses flying and moving, and as you can see, we're in deep midwinter here in Wellington, which, you know,
doesn't look like winter here.
When you make the world your oyster, it means that you can carry on the sport at all times of the year. As you say, you've just been back from Spain, where they're competing as well at the moment. Beautiful conditions there, fingers crossed. But again, like us, they've had quite a bit of rain on the equation, like have California and many others.
Yeah, us too. We had quite a lot of cold rain in the beginning of the season. It's just finally getting nicer.
And quite a few competing indoors at the moment. Gothenburg underway at the moment. In fact, Lars Kirsten, who was with us, I think, last year, just won the World Cup qualifier there. Yeah. Sorry for those that are tuning into that. I'm just giving it away. But Hialeah winning ahead actually of Henrik von Eckermann and King Edward.
Unbelievable.
It's an interesting one. Jessica Leto, Mistral, getting distracted here. Jessica with the gelding by Bingo van der Kapel is the 12-year-old for Jessica now. Good start.
Steadies up really there for the 4. She did a good job to make sure she fit that in. And then there you can see the horse jumps a little bit where he kind of pauses on takeoff and then takes off. And so we had A coming into that double, and then you see a little bit similar thing at the Black Oxer as well. Just kind of jumped a little bit into it with those front legs. And here as well, she's just getting a little bit too close. I think he was a little strong, just kind of dragged her past the distance a bit. And gets over the last, but picking up a few on the course.
Yeah, 12 jumping 2 times, total of 14 at 72.48 for Jessica Leto and Mistral. 5th thereabouts of the 60 in the order here, so we've already come into the second half. We know we're over halfway. A little bit to go yet, though. Reminder of the clears: Ashley Bond, Richard Vogel of Germany, Ben Mayer of Great Britain, and Kathleen Driscoll of the USA. Brian Gotal Moto, now the SNL Farms SNL Marlon. Stallion by Desir de Chateau for Brian. Also gone very well here in the last few weeks with Bianca too. Lovely string of horses. She's been very busy.
Yes,
long list of horses and pupils around all the rings, Hunter rings as well. But she's a lovely rider to watch. She can take herself over to the Hunter ring and win there as well successfully. I think she might have done earlier this week, actually.
I think she always does.
Yeah, pretty sure she did earlier this week.
She's such a gorgeous rider. And, of course, was an equitation champion here as a kid in America. I think she won every single equitation final there was to be had.
But then it's
a little bit of a rub there at the back pole of A, but hit it in the right way that it doesn't fall. And again, Brianne was saying this one's a little bit behind for his age. But she's just coming up. It looks really scopy. Jumped that beautifully. There, she did such a great job to re-motivate and generate the energy there so she could move up to it. little bit of a rub at A, then she sits up, uses her upper body to help around B, and gets over the last. Plenty of time to spare.
There we go. Very nicely done from Brianne Guitar-Marteau and S&L Marlon. Gives us the 5th clear round of our class to date. Clear round number 5 puts Brianne up against those I mentioned, Richie Vogel, Ben Mayer, Ashley Bond, and Kathleen Driscoll to date so far.
Okay, now
Zoe
we're taking
Conte.
a look at Zoe.
Belgian rider with Stefek Stables, Tombola Z. As I say, both Zoe and sister Emily competing here.
Let's see how this one jumps by Toulon, just a 10-year-old. And I think Zoe's been riding really, really well all season. Beautiful jump there at 1.
Plank again, as you say, hasn't caused any great issue.
No,
Everybody's
I
got
don't
this.
actually think we've seen it come down
No.
once. I think it's stayed up in the cups the entire class so far. But we still got a lot left of jumping to do. It's funny, sometimes those planks are really a big problem for the horses, but I think it's very much about placement and the distance to them. The horses don't see the planks necessarily so well, but today, even with the white going into the VIP tent, it just doesn't seem to be causing much trouble, and it is just sort of a nice normal 6 to it. So the distance to it, the horses and riders have plenty of sort of space to jump it nicely. Oh, has the back pole there. You could see the horse reached across it and tried to sort of double kick out to get across it, but didn't make it, and then has B of the double verticals as well.
Finished on a score of 8.65.66, 8 faults there for Zoe Conte and Tombola Z this time. Natalie Dean makes another appearance now. This is for the Marigold Sport Horses Iron Lady. The mare by Thunder van der Zoethoven for the 10-year-old for Natalie, also on the Iron Dames team next year as well, or this year.
This year for
Yep.
the Globals.
Yep.
Very interesting that Iron Dames is a newer team for the Globals. Very cool. It's all women.
Lady team.
The lady team. We love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking forward to them showing everybody else how to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And now
no,
we're
it's
going to
good.
see a bunch of Iron Lady as a prefix on some of the horse
And it's a bit of a crossover with motor racing, I think, as well.
It is.
Yeah.
It absolutely is, which is very cool. We need horsepower with animals and horsepower in an engine.
Well, there's going to be a little bit of crossover that here later in the season, but I'll keep that under wraps for now.
Ooh.
There's a little bit of intrigue
Just
through.
a little tease.
Little tease.
Little tease for what's coming.
Yeah.
Getting us excited. We love a little horsepower crossover. This is looking good so far. Looking like plenty of horsepower at the moment.
Yeah. As I said a little bit earlier, Natalie just starting to get a few of the other faces out of the bar now. Just
Yeah, exactly. I hadn't
coming
seen this
along.
one jump
Yeah.
so much yet. But it is a long season here with lots of jumping to be done. So always having to pick and choose. Just gets there a little bit early and shifts a little bit on takeoff, kind of just shifted. And when they do that, when they kind of change their angle as they take off, they lose a little bit of height and can make it a little bit closer than you want to be in there as well. Just getting there a little bit early at the front pole. And they're just still turning on as she jumps the double verticals, similar to what we've seen happen a lot through today's class.
Yeah, finishes them on the 12. Score, it is 3 down, 65-49, as we say. Not seen them too often yet. Iron Lady and Natalie Dean.
All right, looking like Dara.
Yeah, Dara Kenny. I think we're just moving on, actually. We were going to see Gabriel, so we're going to Dara Kenny. Oakland Ventures Serendipity. Mare by Stolzenberg is the Hanoverian. Again, a 9-year-old here for Dara. In the shape of, or in the frame again last night.
He was.
With VDL Cartello. Of course, he was the winner of the Grand Prix 2 weeks ago for that Fidelity Investments Grand Prix with Amsterdam.
Exactly, and I think Cartello, he was, of course, that was the horse that he rode in the Olympics,
Yep.
and then it was out for a little bit and just jumping back up at the 5-star level, and I think he was actually thrilled with the result that he had. Jumped beautifully. It's not necessarily always the fastest horse in the jump off. It's a little bit hard to get through the turns. But I think Dara was thrilled with the double clear performance.
And again, it's interesting looking at the management again. Serendipity getting a little bit more exposure this week. You know, early on in the season it was Eddie Blue. Now Eddie Blue's just been quietly, stepped out the frame a little bit. You know, again, you've just got to be able to manage your horses. Exactly what you were talking about earlier. You could jump all year if you want to, but the whole point is in the way you referred to it, that actually the top riders don't jump that many 5-star Grand Prix as a horse and rider combination.
Exactly. Yeah, as a horse-rider combination, they jump very, very few, actually. Sometimes the riders will jump a lot, but as a horse-rider combination, you can only jump so many.
Yeah.
There's only so many big jumps in a horse, I think.
As you say, that's where management comes in, and this is where these guys are so good.
Absolutely.
It's one thing to take away from watching the top riders that you don't always see.
Yeah.
But just watch the way they place their horses. On just a score of 4 there, goes into 9th place, 64.49 for Derek Kenny's Serendipity. What do we think of Serendipity?
Nice. I think jumps really well. Again, just having that one down, and it's a jump we've seen come down a bit today. But in general, I think that's a nice 9-year-old up and coming. And with a rider like Dara, it's going to have every shot to turn into a top horse.
Now Nasa now and Ivory TCS for the Evergate Stables. This was the ride for Daniel Coyle for a little while. Recently moving into Niall Stable at the tail end of last year. For Les Demus, Daniel Coyle, as we mentioned a bit earlier, racing along with wins as well.
Absolutely. This horse, I believe, won the Week 8 Grand Prix last year with Daniel.
Yes, that's true.
Right,
yes.
I think he won the
all these facts are now true. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this has been a super horse, and nice for Niall to have another one like this in his string. Very, very competitive horse. Very quick. And bloody horse. You can see on the ground there was the little cuff that actually came off of Dara's horse. It's still sitting on the ground.
The boys will collect that for them. Very good arena team here.
Absolutely. It's going really well for Niall. Again, a newer partnership, but they seem to be getting along great. Almost didn't finish the stride there on takeoff, but was able to balance and jump it. Steadies up at the end there, just gets a little bit too close to the Hermes oxer at the front pole. Curls around A and B, kicks out a little bit at the end. Clears the last, but unfortunately, with the front pole of that Hermes, keep them out of our jump off.
Does, unfortunately, just leaves them on the 4 for Nal Nassar and Ivy TCS, as you say, fast combination that they can be, and just coming together as a partnership. Put some good results together already, just teetering on the edge of some big ones to follow up. Chloe Reed, Team Reed's crossover 4. Now, interesting, she jumped this horse in the Grand Prix last night.
She did, but I don't think it should be tired from that, since she only jumped 2 jumps.
Yeah.
But oddly enough, this horse has been developing so tremendously for Chloe, and she had him out here and has jumped so many classes and so many clears in so many different venues, and for some reason, he's just been a little bit spooky here.
He just wasn't keen on the wall last night.
Yeah, and again, a couple of weeks ago, same thing, which is really surprising because I don't think she'd ever had trouble with that in the past. And like I said, I mean, this horse has been in the results. It's such a tremendous jumper. I mean, it's for sure a 160 horse. I don't know. Something about under the lights with the wall. Didn't like it 2 weeks ago. I think Chloe did a tremendous job last night. She really dug her heels in and said, you know what, come on, we are getting over the jump. And she really was able to get the horse over the wall, which should bring a lot of confidence, knowing that she can do it, that the horse can do it, and she's coming back here now.
And back to management as well. Let's get a little bit further through this, but to come out here and go, okay, we're going to go back tomorrow. We're going to do what we're doing here, and we're going to come out with confidence. We're going to tackle this, and there we go.
We're going to jump a clear.
And we're going to clear. We're going to get ourselves back in the game and just get literally right back on the horse.
Absolutely, and good for Chloe. You could see her shaking her head a little bit, being like, I know we can do this. Come on, guy. Come on, crossover. We can absolutely do this, and I think great for Chloe's confidence, great for the horse's confidence. Again, to get over that wall last night. She did retire after it, but you see she comes back here today and jumps an unbelievably beautiful clear in what is also a very difficult class.
Yeah. Chris Janowski now, and the polo jumps Condor de Valdeci, French-bred gelding by Quite Easy. Now this is a horse again. There's got some nice rules, but tended to sort of 2 and 3 stars. So it's been a little bit more of a step up this week. But again, this is where Chris has had the opportunity. He's again jumped into the WEF, and it's instead of going Grand Prix direction, they're going for the 150. That's what they were aimed at this week from that point of view. And there's where you also need to plot your targets through the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I know I'd spoken to Chris a little bit about this horse, and he was saying, look, this is really its first kind of 5-star stepping up. It didn't go, he wasn't necessarily too disappointed the other day. Okay, the score didn't really reflect how well the horse actually jumped, and he felt good about it. So he said, look, let's just come back and just developing the horse and jumping today's class. Again, the horse is not necessarily so young, but he is green at this level, never jumped in a 5-star before. And he said he felt good, just the result didn't reflect that. And then sometimes you see that in our sport. I mean, sometimes you have a 12-fault round that you actually think is a wonderful round, and sometimes you have a clear round that you think, well, how did that even happen? How did I pull that off? And it didn't feel good. So it's all a little bit about the feeling, and, results will come for sure. And you see it's jumping beautifully here today. Great jump. Look at it open up behind there. That was wonderful. This is a very, very powerful horse. Oh, just looked like maybe kind of dropped behind him a tiny bit around the corner, and he just had to add leg a little bit to the skinny, and then had a little bit too much kind of power, had it down behind. And there, just a little bit low with the hind end. Doesn't quite finish the jump at B, but he just will pick up those 2 down for Chris and Condor.
Yeah, puts them on 8, 68.45 for Chris Janowski this time, so 6 clears at the moment. Laura Kraut's back. So a couple of others coming out of the order. It is on now to Picobello, gelding by Vigo da Sway, as the 9-year-old here for Laura. Vigo that won the World Championship with Philippe Lejeune back in 2010.
I was there. I remember that.
There you go. I
was
wasn't.
There. You weren't. I was there in person. I remember it. It was exciting. That was back when we had the Final Four and the horses and riders all changed, and that was such an exciting.
I did that one in Caen, in Normandy.
Caen. I was there as well.
Last time we did
it. I jumped that in Caen, actually.
Yeah.
Not particularly well, but I jumped it.
But you were there.
I was there.
Yeah, I was there.
I was there. I was happy to be there, and then I was very happy to leave when it didn't go well. But I enjoyed watching it because it is tremendous sport.
I was definitely not riding there, but I was working. I got my talking hat back on.
I think that was the last time we actually saw the Final Four in the World Championships.
Yeah, then we went to, I did Tryon then after that, which was the traditional, which was, if you like, I would say traditional format.
Yeah, back to the more Olympic-style format, which is now a totally different format. So
yeah. Anyway, let's concentrate on Picobello.
Exactly. Let's take a look at Laura, who is also a wonderful championship rider. And it's looking good so far on Picobello. Yeah. And this is very different than our other horse, Calgary, that we saw earlier. This one is very, very scopy. Big horse. Also just 9 years old, developing it up at this level. But I think it's going to be a big-time horse for Laura. Ooh. Just jumped up a little bit high and cut down. We've seen that happen a number of times today. There is that Liverpool under the Hermes Oxer. She has B down as well. It's funny, we're seeing a lot of times the back pole of the Hermes as well as B of the Orange Double, and it's just those two at the end of the course. A lot of people are having those exact 2 jumps down.
Finishes on a score of 8 this time, 68.64 for Laura Kraut, and Picobello as her second ride there. Holding at the 6 clears at the moment. Looks like Erin Ballard next. And Erin again riding for Lamfeder and Esperanza Imports. Gelding by Otongelo is Hero. Nice and easy. Thank you very much for that one.
Nice, easy name
nice,
to pronounce.
Easy one for Erin. The Canadian World Championship rider.
Exactly.
Again, 12 years old. Should be right in the prime.
Exactly. That's kind of our peak age for top horses. Amazingly, we saw last night, the first couple that went clear were some of the oldest, most experienced horses in the class. I think they were both 17.
Yeah.
The first 2 that qualified for our jump off last night. So we can say that they kind of peak. They start to really develop at the high level as 9-year-olds. They kind of, I would agree they peak around the 11, 12, 13 range, and even into 14. And then some of the ones we see have long careers, keep the longevity really up until the late teens. But 17 is old, and this is perfect peak here for Erin's horse Hero. And it looks like it's handling the course very, very well. She, of course, having tremendous experience. Keeping this balance up. She did that really well. Got right to the base, then used her upper body to sit away from the jump, help the arc, kick out a little bit there behind. Beautiful through that. She's looking good. Plenty of time.
Yeah, it is 68.51, well inside the time for Erin Ballard, and Hero could be the hero of the afternoon yet. Gives us the 7th clear at the moment for the Canadian. So Canada in the mix now. USA got 3 in there. Germany, Great Britain, and Israel all in with a shout.
It's a nice kind of steady flow of clears.
Yeah.
We get 1, we see 5 or 6. Then we see another, and then a few more, and then a few. You know, it's actually kind of a nice, steady flow that we're getting. And only 7, I mean, looks, there's probably about a little bit more than 10 left to go, 10, 12 left to go. We'll probably see a couple more, but it's exactly the number you'd expect to get. You know, you're always, the course designer, aiming for, 10 to 20% for their jump-offs, and that's about what we're going to get.
Tim Gredley of Great Britain and Imperial HBF, the gelding by Glasgow. The British European Championship rider.
And this horse actually also been jumping really well. There's a couple top horses at the moment that are both absolutely lovely. And this horse jumped a really good round the other day as well in the 150.
I was going to say, it's jumped a few 150s very nicely.
Yeah. It's a nice technique. Jumps right around the jumps. Very correct. He's by Glasgow. Glasgow was that big black horse that we saw you reeling from the Netherlands ride. It was a really big scopy horse there. Again, we're seeing the Hermes come down. He just got there a little bit early, and not enough space to get away from that front pole.
Yeah, not a lot wrong with that, and a lot that was right with it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Very
69.87.
solid round.
Yeah, just finishing on the 4 there for Tim Gredley and Imperial HBF. Again, I feel he's knocking on the door. There's clears and 4s, and that's it.
Very,
from
very
the
solid
group of horses that he's had so far. And
yeah, exactly. He's never having any. I've seen only really solid rounds. Clear 4, clear 4. You know, very, very, very consistent.
Carlos Ancarero of Mexico and the H5 Sport Horses, H5 Chaco Sun now for the Hanoverian gelding by Chaco Blue. Carlos winning the Grand Prix up at Okada at the World Equestrian Centre the other day as well for the 23-year-old. I think that was his first Grand Prix win as well. So he's notched that one up, got that one out of the way.
And it was on this horse, right?
Yeah.
It was. So it was really nice for him in his young career, notching one of those international wins. It's always once you get that first one under your belt, you're like, oh, I can do this. And then you can go.
Which was your
upward.
First?
Ooh.
You remember it off the top of your head, or have you got to go back through the...
I got to think about it. My first FEI win.
First Grand Prix win.
First Grand Prix win. You know what the first Grand Prix I ever won was? I think it was... I don't know, actually. I think it might have been at the Sussex County Fair Horse Show in New Jersey.
Yeah,
it was a national Grand Prix.
Yeah, but one of the very old shows here in America. One of the oldest shows.
One of the oldest, and actually one of the most fun. I loved that horse show. It was amazing. There was a giant Ferris wheel in the background. It was like a carnival. Yeah. I think that was it. I honestly don't remember. Maybe I won something as a junior with my young rider horse. I don't know, but. I know the feeling, and I remember the feeling. I don't remember from where, but I remember the feeling, and it really does help build confidence.
And Carlos is definitely getting that here.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking, you see, he's riding with confidence. He's riding all right, I am absolutely deserving of being here and can do this. Sits up here to the vertical, riding super well, trusting the horses. Nice reach there across. And confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence.
Ooh, yeah, a little quiet in there, which she needs to be.
Snaked
but just
across them a little bit and gets over the last. And look at that. See that confidence coming through for another clear.
Yeah, give us the 8th clear round now. Carlos Sancarero and H5 Chaco-san. As you say, just finding that balance into that tangerine double. He was just quiet through there, but almost too quiet at one point.
Yeah, it was a little bit steady, and the horse was a little bit close to those verticals, but absolutely made it through.
Okay, Jessica Leto with her second ride now. And Jessica with Simbora this time. She's jumped a number of rounds towards this level so far. It's gelding by Kalido. So 13 years of age for Jessica.
All right. So looking good so far. Thirteen-year-old horse here was a horse formerly seen under Holger Hetzel.
Yeah.
She has A of that blue double coming in. I think she had the back pole, a little bit hard to see behind the gazebo.
Yeah, was just backing off it a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And there it looked like she just got there a little bit early, lost the shape of the jump as she took off. Good effort there through the double. Kicks out there a little bit behind just to make sure he doesn't touch the jump. And here she steadies up. A little bit of a funky shape over them, but clears them and then just gets there a little bit too early at the last for a few down.
Finished on a score of 12.69.88 for Jessica Leto and Simbora, so finishing on the dozen for them as we progress through well. We have about 12 left to go in the first round of this Hermes 150 here through what is now the afternoon. Zoe Conte next, FX Stables, Enrico de la Pomme, gelding again by Vigo del Sway. For the 10-year-old for Zoe.
Yep, second ride for her this class. Sitting on the 8 clear at the moment. So challenging but appropriate for a class this week.
Carlos Sancarero, the most recent of those.
Yep.
She'll be looking to follow that up.
See, I believe that is her boyfriend.
It is. I was doing the alluding to.
Yeah, you were just hinting at it. Let me finish off the
It's
sentence.
it's funny to hear one or two that the partners are competing in classes, and if one qualifies, the other one doesn't qualify, or one's clear. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Is it friendly camaraderie in the house, or is it competitive?
I'm staying out of this one.
Luckily, I never had to worry about that.
Yeah. Well, there's the other things like brothers, like the Whitakers competing each other through their whole life. It's like as long as one of them won.
Brothers and kids and grandkids and cousins, they had plenty.
But it's not. That's the nice thing. It's a family sport. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go back to Zoe. Going nicely so far. Just gets a little close there on the turn.
Yeah, absolutely. Gets him back on track now to this Oxer. You can see she lands, reorganizes a little bit here, just wanting to finish up. She's looking really solid here, actually. It'll be sort of an unfortunate fault for her to have had because it looks like quite a good round. Yeah, it gets over the last. Very solid there.
Yeah, just on 468.84, just one down for Zoe Conte, Enrico de la Pomme. Again, one of the tougher parts of the track to handle, and just unfortunately just gets ahead of them.
Yeah, exactly. Again, we've seen that offset Liverpool come down a couple of times today. It's off that rollback turn, and if you kind of you're thinking about the 5 strides, how you want to ride that into the double, and it's just a little bit of an angle, and it's just not worked out so well for a couple of people.
Rally Heiler into the equation now was the rider who started things off last night, 24-year-old with Lennox van der Bishop this time. Kurt Heiler and Suzanne Hansen.
This horse, a former ride of Sophie Hinners from Germany.
Talking of relationships.
It's another one.
Partner of Richard Vogel.
Exactly. And also a member of the Iron Dames team.
Yep. She had a nice win out in the Middle East a couple of weeks ago as well.
She did. Raleigh looking really good here. This horse, very, very scopy, very big jumper. Jumps a little bit in its own style with its head and neck up a little bit. Which as a rider, it actually is very comfortable because then they're really out in front of you, the horses. It's always a little bit harder when the balance is low. When the balance is extra high, you really feel like you have the horse out in front of you. It's a nice feeling. A little stumble there on the landing side, but gets back underneath himself. They're just a little bit early, having the skinny down in front on the way up, which was maybe just a little bit close to it. This horse, very scopy, but needing a little bit of time to get the front end out of the way. And they're a little bit similar thing at the last two as well. So she will pick up those 3 down on the course. Pretty solid round, just a couple down near the end.
Finished on a total of 12:69.35. It's 12 there for Ronnie Heiler and Lennox van der Bisschop. And McLean Ward. McLean with Robin Parsky's first lady. A nice partnership with this horse for Robin, who owns a number of horses with rides across, including, of course, those that she's had with Ken Farrington, Henrik van Eckermann now as well, and we've seen with the portfolio horses with
Carly Anthony.
Yeah.
Robin's been a tremendous supporter of our sport for years now.
Very much involved with the owners groups as well within the sport as well.
But it's great. She's a fan of the sport, and she supports not just one rider but multiple. And you know, we really need people like that in our sport, and really a testament to Robin for sticking it out for many, many years with many horses and at the highest levels, and encouraging other people to be owners, because it's very hard. You know, this is not the easiest sport to do, and we need support anywhere we can get it. And we really thank people like Robin.
Yeah, and people like the Revers family that owned Callis last night, where McLean, of course, was top 3 in the Grand Prix. Now, again, he's looking to take another slice out of this Lugano Diamonds week yet.
Absolutely, and McLean also, I think, was having a couple unlucky faults through the early part of season, and looks like last night he really laid it down. Was wonderful. He just rode great, rode serious, like he meant it. And again, we're seeing that. Oh. I was going to say he was jumping the clear today because he was jumping great, but just having the last one down. But in general, that was actually a really super round.
Yeah, again, not too much wrong with that at all. Finishing just on the floor into 11th place, 64.68, just a hair's breadth from being in the mix there for McLean Ward and First Lady. He will be. He was last night as well. Coco Faith now, and Coco with the Hillside Farm of Connecticut's Ventador 5 for the gelding by Arpeggio. Coming into the 5-star week as well for Coco, who was very successful through the U25 series.
She's been riding well.
Yeah.
This horse by Arpeggio, it's a Hanoverian stallion, really nice horse. We see a bunch of Arpeggios in the sport, not a tremendous amount, but they all tend to be really nice horses. Oh, first jump coming down. Again, we'd seen it come down a bunch in the first half, not so much in this second half, but comes down again. What a frustrating fault that is to have as a rider. It's funny, it can be very frustrating where it sort of takes the wind out of your sails, but it can also be the kind of thing that you have the first jump down, you get the tension out, you relax, and then the rest of the round goes really well. Which then, of course, is even more frustrating as a rider. Then you're like, I can't believe I had the first one down. But she's looking really solid here. This is such a sweet horse to watch. Looks so simple, straightforward. Very scopy, jumps the jumps really easily. Looking nice here. Gets through this. This she set up well. Just shifted a little bit, actually. Just took off at B. She set up A really nicely, and then the horse just kind of shifted away from the wall. Has B down.
Yeah, leaves them at 12, 67.35 for Coco Faith and Aventador 5. Lily Keenan. And the Chansonet Farms Agana Van Het Garendel Z.
It's been such an awesome horse for Lily over the years. Just a great partnership. They know each other well. She's had him since he was about 6. And, she's just had tremendous success. I think she won that World Cup out west on him last year.
Vegas, yeah.
Yeah. And Aggie's just such a soldier for her. Reliable.
Aggie always sounds as though it should be a girl, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not. Aggie sounds like a girl.
Agana sounds sort of slightly feminine, but actually it's very much a stallion.
It's a stallion. A cute stallion. Looks like a little pony. Beautiful. But just such a reliable horse for Lily.
Yeah.
And she can always count on him to try his hardest.
I've liked seeing she had a horse out this week called Kick On.
Yeah, the nice new one. I think one developing up, not necessarily new for Lily, but new to this level. Also jumped really well. This horse just so correct in the way that he does everything. It's a beautiful shape jump. He's tidy and neat. He has blood. He has good balance. It's really an attractive horse to see. He does things so correctly. If you had a barn full of ones like this, you would be thrilled.
You wouldn't complain.
Yeah, exactly.
Nicely done so far. Tidy for Lily.
Just leans back here a little bit, sets this up, adds a little bit of extra leg. That was really beautifully done. Lily added just the right amount of power to just help Agana get over that oxer. Clears the last. Beautiful run.
Yeah, it goes clear at 66.15 and just copybook there for Lily Keenan and Agana Van Het Garendel Z. Ninth clear.
Old reliable. That's what we like to see. And not even so old.
Yeah, I can say not that old.
Not
13,
so old.
13, prime.
Prime, just what we said. Prime time.
Yeah, human, they'd be, their 30s, just coming into their 30s.
Yeah, exactly.
Nal Nasser and ESI Ali. Irish bred gelding by Staccato Gold for the Evergate Stills. Again, another one that's we haven't seen too much of at this level yet.
No, actually, new horse.
Came out nicely in the Friday class as well.
Yes. And I actually had known about this horse for a while. I had spoken to Niall Hughes about it.
Yeah.
Back a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And it's from an Irish stud, Enningsnad stud in Ireland. That's what the ESI stands for.
All right. Yeah, we've seen a few of those appear in the UK over a long period of time through the years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coming together well so far.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's jumping really well. Nice bounce. Look at that. Beautiful. Just opens up behind great over that oxer. This is also a very sporty horse to see. Great jump there. That was awesome. The horse really grabbed the ground, jumped up around the oxer. And there we go.
There we go. 67.29. Again, plots a good route around. 10th clear so far, Nal Nasser and ESI Ali. Just a 9-year-old there, gelding, but looking good there with Niall. Takes us to 10. Only got 4 left to come in theory on our list as well.
Good lineup for our jump off. 10 clear, appropriate amount, exactly kind of what you'd want to see. It'll be exciting. Got some top combinations. A couple more to jump to see if anyone else can add their name.
Yeah, Alex Matz, Jed Dana, Keane O'Connor, and Andrew Bourne still to come. Alex Matz now, this time with Junior Canan, gelding by guess what? Canan. Now the 10-year-old for Alex.
It was a good guess.
Yes, didn't take Sherlock Holmes for that one, did it?
No, it did not.
It's like Chaco Blue II.
Exactly, and actually this horse was formerly ridden by Richie Vogel.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes. And David Will.
Yeah.
2 Germans before Alex took over the ride.
Oh! Well, of course, they team up, David and Richie in business as well.
They do. Oh, frustrating first jump coming down. Amazing how many times we've seen that come down. You know, I actually think this whole season we've seen it a couple of the big classes with the first jump. The Grand Prix a couple of weeks
Fidelity
ago.
Grand Prix, it came down
a lot.
Way more than I've ever seen in a 5-star Grand Prix for a long time. And again, it was set about where the key flow fence is today. It wasn't anything particularly unusual. It just, everyone was going whatever it was.
It just wasn't working out.
There were various reasons, but it just wasn't working out for people.
Exactly. Oh, having beat down as well. It's a lovely horse, but just a tad casual today, perhaps. Now let's see if he sets up this double here at the end. Yeah, there just had a little bit, balance wasn't great. He set it up okay, I think, but horse just kind of was a little bit down on the forehand as it took off at A.
Leaves them at 12 today, 66.65 for Alex Matz this time with Junior Canan. So he just turned 10. A bit more experience to come in the bank for them yet.
Next one coming up is actually one horse that I really love. It's been tremendously successful and competitive. And just waiting on him to come on in. And I'll leave it as a surprise.
Well, it might live up to its... Yeah, there we go. Coming in slowly. After 8. Not quite after 8, but just close to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. For Jadana and Spring Hill Farm 1850s. Swedish bred. Horse by Diorado. For the mare for Jadana, like I say, he's already been a winner into the series so far this season. He's very much on the climb. World ranking of 118 at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, he is just such a competitive rider. And had a little bit of not the best luck the last couple of weeks, but early on in season he did great.
Yeah.
This horse, of course, he's so competitive on it. So if he goes clear on this one, he's definitely one to watch in our jump off. But let's see if he can jump the jumps right now. This horse having tons of blood. Oh, I jinxed him maybe. Second jump down.
Settles back in.
Yeah. Oh, a little bit of a stretch there. Just looked like he was a tiny bit off it, actually, as he took off at A. I think he was just kind of struggling to keep the horse's energy level a little bit contained, and then just ended up just a fraction off the front pole there and had to reach and had the back pole.
Yeah, she just gets a little bit fussy on just before.
Yeah. Exactly, you can see. But it's a natural blood.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
You don't necessarily want to fault the horse for that. I think it's actually a quality that you really like. But it is then something that you just sort of have to contain. And just stretching across that, and maybe Jad just saying, we're not quite where we need to be at the moment. I think he will call it.
Yeah, he's definitely calling it a day. Decides to retire there for Jadana, and after 8 leaves us 2 left to go in the first round. 10 clears so far in this MS 150. Cian O'Connor, the leader of the series, goes once again now. This time Susan Magner's Lexington.
And this horse I've just been watching, and I've been talking to Cian about it a little bit. And
yeah.
I just love this horse. I think it is such an athletic horse. I've seen it jump really a lot of clear rounds. And it's been really just developing nicely. And I think it's really one for the future and just a competitive athletic animal. Let's see if Cian can get himself into the jump off so he can maintain his pole position in our leaderboard. It's just so athletic, this horse.
Yeah, I was going to say, looks very nice through the first few.
Ooh. Careful horse, and really jumps when you talk about the bascule of a horse. The shape of the roundness of the jump and the parabola of the jump. That's exactly what this horse does so well. It's just beautiful with the front end. Uses its head and neck. Drops down between the legs. Ooh. Just having the A coming into that double behind. Just got a little bit tangled there as he jumped A. Slows it down. Beautiful jump there. Maybe the balance can get a little bit low at times. There has A as well. I thought Kian actually set that up well. I thought he really did take his time. But again, horse just 10 up at this, just coming up to this level, still a little bit green.
Yeah, finishing on a total of 8 this time for Kian O'Connor and Lexington. 69.12 on the 10-year-old. Just leaves one left to come. Andrew Bourne's and the Bellwyn Farm and TLM Sport Horses Copy Champ. Gelding by Copyright, German-bred horse. And it was Charlotte, which was by Chambertin 3. Okay, another one that he's keen on. Of course, he's up there with Sea Top Blue.
Exactly. We saw him last night with Sea Top Blue. He was great in the Challenge Cup on Thursday. And I was talking to Michael Blake, the chef to keep for Ireland, about Sea Top Blue, and he just said how it was really one of his favorite horses. He loved it so much. But Copy Champ is coming up for Andrew. Looking good so far. So we're on the 10 clear. We'll see if we make it 11 with Andrew. A little bit of a touch there. Luckily that one stays up. Lands, puts the leg on, keeps moving here. Sets up the Liverpool nice. Jumping through that double really well. Nice stretch across the Black Oxer. Then you can see Andrew kind of sit in the saddle, keeping motivation, comes through that turn nicely. Horse really curled around that nicely behind. Gets over the Hermes, and now he just needs to steady up. 3 left to jump. Getting a little close.
Yeah.
Oh, he jumped it good. Last one.
There we go.
We will see 11.
11 it is, and Andrew Bourne's Copy Champ looking to, well, copy that into the jump off as well as they get through. And it is going to be there as our last in that jump-off round. So the clears overall as we complete round 1 of the $62,500 Hermes 150 Classic. Ben Mayer will start things off with Faltic HB. Kathleen Driscoll with the Plain Bay Farms Castelletto. Ashley Bond and Elke de la Pomme. Richard Vogel goes 4th place with Sidello, as you see there. Brian Guttal goes halfway through at 5th spot. With SNL Marlon. 6th for Chloe Reed and Crossover 4. Good to see them back in the frame here again. Erin Ballard and Hero. 8th place to Carlos Sancarrera and H5 Chaco San. 9th to Lily Keenan and Agana. 10th to Nal Nasa and ESI Ali. And 11th rather to Andrew Bourne's and Copy Champ. So they're just on the end of that list. So 11-0 going in the jump off. We're going to be back with that in a few moments time, just as the team set up. There's Peter down with the flowers. He does such a wonderful job with the decoration of the arenas here as well. And, well, florally dressed and ready in a few minutes for the jump-off of this next stage. It's week 7 of the MS 150 Classic Series.
Can Jumper make you a show jumping expert? With Jumper, explore the latest event results, discover top horses and riders, and follow your favorites. Jumper delivers data from around the world, so you're always the most informed. Download now and take the guesswork out of show jumping with Jumper.
Welcome to Carlswood, the home of Irish Olympic medalist, coach and international horse producer Cian O'Connor. At Carlswood, we pride ourselves on the belief that success is reward for effort. Set in County Meath, Carlswood is the home of Cian's industry-leading high-performance centre. The Carlswood system is based on a structured approach to daily routine and meticulous planning to help reach our goals. At Carlswood, Cian and the team work together to provide coaching, mentoring, advice on horse purchases and goal setting. We also facilitate students who wish to progress their show jumping skills while they study in universities in Ireland and across Europe. When it comes to developing your horse's fitness, scheduling and planning around competitions, no stone is left unturned. At Carlswood, we are committed to delivering quality, a place where our goal is the fulfilment of your ambition.
Can Jumper help you find your next top horse? Let's say you're looking for an 8-year-old, competing at meter 40, jumping clear 60% of the time. Jumper lets you find top horses by age, pedigree, or performance. Download now and take the guesswork out of show jumping with Jumper.
Be a part of show jumping history when the Show Jumping Hall of Fame hosts many of the sport's living legends at its annual induction gala. The gala takes place on Sunday evening, March 3rd at the Wanderers Club in Wellington. This year's inductees are Pancho Lopez, Katie Prudence, longtime barn manager, and Laura Crowd's gold medal Olympic mount, Cedric. Also on hand to receive the Show Jumping Hall of Fame's second annual International Award will be former Olympic, World, and World Cup champion Rodrigo Pessoa of Brazil. Don't miss this very special evening when the Show Jumping Hall of Fame honors the history of our sport and those who helped make it great. It's Sunday evening, March 3rd at the Wanderers Club in Wellington. Order your tickets today at showjumpinghalloffame.net.
Well, those are the runners and riders for the jump-off coming up for this class, and it's the $62,500 Hermes 5-star 150 Classic, taking us into a classic afternoon here in Wellington, Florida. Beautiful afternoon. Sun is shining just in the early 70s if you're following in that measurement of heat. And it'll probably be a little bit hotter in the arena as they burn things up into the jump-off. So 11 there, you see. Andrew Bournes will be last to go. Ben Mayer is going to kick things off with Fultic. Kathleen Driscoll after that. I think we're going to have a fast start to this. Danny Wallman alongside me. I don't think you're going to disagree with that, are you?
No, I think it's going to be a very, very fast start. We've got Ben and we've got McLean early. Kathleen Driscoll can be fast. Richie Vogel can be lightning, we know. So I think it's going to be a very interesting jump-off. It's funny, though, the jump-off course itself, there is not that much space. There's no real long runs. Still keeping a couple of lines. You know, there is a bit of a long stretch from up at the top back down to the double. But we're going to see, actually, how this works out because there's not that many places to kind of make up time.
Well, should we talk numbers? 1 and 2 to start off with, then back to fence 10. So roll back there.
So
if you're going to make anything up, it's on your rollbacks.
Yeah, exactly, because 1 to 2, maybe people do 6. But, again, you can't get the best shot at number 1. So they did 7 in the first line, and you got to make a short turn back after it. I don't think we're going to see 6 there. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what people choose to do. Then you're going to make a tight rollback to 10, 11. There, I think we're going to see 7. We saw mostly 8s in the first round. And then on the curve, 212A. Again, maybe they do a 7 there, but if you do the 7, it can pitch you out to the left, which is the opposite direction of where you want to go. Now it's a long run across the middle of the ring, back down to the gold and black double, which was 8A and B, and then long run to 9. Maybe they're going to do 6. We saw 7s and 8s in the first round. Maybe they could do a long 6, but not that many places to kind of really make up time, everything on straight lines or tight rollbacks. So will it be very interesting to see, but again, we have some very fast riders who are really great at those rollbacks, especially Richie and Ben and McLean. So it'll be exciting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, it certainly will, and getting ready for that. And as we say, we've got a very good lineup coming up early on with a lot of pace in there to push them. And as I say, we'll see how the likes of Fultic handles this again. Ben might well suit him because the efficiency of that horse, they're so good on the rollbacks. That's where they would be balanced, ready to go, and really economical. Small,
compact horse. I think rollbacks are definitely ideal for a horse like that. When you have a big mover, you know, it makes it hard. But McLean has a really sporty horse. And, of course, Richie's sitting on Cidello. We know how fast that combination can be, regardless of whether they're galloping or turning. It has the agility and the ability to be quick and open up the stride as well as make those sharp turns. So it's looking like it's going to be a very exciting class. And the tractors look like they are just making their way out.
Yep.
And hopefully our first one will be up in a second.
Yeah, they're walking up. There they go. I see a nose.
Look at that perfect timing. It's a little pony nose. Fultic, of course, very small horse, but small but mighty.
Absolutely. And so his World Championship ride, stepping on in there with dressage finesse, is Fultic HB and Ben Mayer with Pamela Wright and Charlotte Roster's horse. We say by Baltic VDL.
Looking at this rollback maybe right here. Yep. Looking at this turn right here.
There you go. There's your dressage circles
exactly.
as well.
Just getting the horse to make sure that when he puts the outside leg on that he can keep the bend of the horse so the horse knows where he's going, but he uses the outside leg to help bring that hind end underneath it so he can make that turn. All right.
So let's just remind you of the course. 1 and 2, 10, 11, 12A, 8A and B, and 9 to finish.
So looking like Ben maybe is going to come. Is he going to come off? No, he's going to come off. Well, let's see what he does. Yeah, I think he's coming off the right to number 1.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to get to from the left, actually. I think it has to come off the right. Let's see what he does. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now he makes this tight turn. Look at that. Unbelievable turn he just did.
But doesn't make it look an effort.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So he gets the 7. Gets 7 again. And now he's got to run across the middle. Ben doing such a great job of being so efficient. Comes in a little bit of the angle, right to left slice. Does the 6 to the last, gets over it. Beautiful round there for Ben and Faltic.
Yeah, not unsurprising. 34-74 Ben Mayer and Faltic HB. Again, just all that use of the horse, just an extension. It doesn't look rushed. It's a turn back that looks exactly, as I say, like it's been coming out of the dressage arenas as well. It's all that base work that works.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, one of the things that I think Ben does so beautifully is he is lightning fast without looking like he's rushing anywhere.
Yeah.
Everything is so contained and organized and precise. He makes the sharp turns, and then he lengthens and does the numbers that he needs to do without ever making it look like, whoa, he's running and running. He's not. He's actually just very contained. He lengthens the stride, and that was a beautiful round.
Maybe we'll have a dressage competition, McLean, Richie and Ben, to see it at some point.
Actually, I'd love to see Martin Fuchs in there. I've seen Martin actually do dressage.
Lily Keenan was doing dressage at one point as well. She did some.
Look at this, super fast.
Kathleen Driscoll.
You can see her tracks way wider than Ben's. So she was very fast up the first line, but then gets the 7 here. Does it. Look at that. She stayed out, so she was angling back. Very good there. But I think because she was so much wider after number 2, I don't think she's going to catch Ben. And it won't matter because she does have the front pole there. Reach for the 6 at the end. Gets through it. Good time. But
yeah, just 36-32. But Ben Mayer's time 34-74, like you say. You start racing. She drifted on that first turn because she was trying to get back to it, though, because you just end up with too much momentum.
Yeah, exactly. I think she was really quick up from 1 to 2, but then because she had so much speed to then get that sharp turn, I think that's why Ben chose to do the 7 so that he could just be organized 1 to 2 and said, look, I'm going to save 5 strides by doing a sharp turn versus leaving out 1 stride in the first line.
Ashley Bond, Elka de la Pomme.
Oh, first jump coming down. So she's quick back on this rollback, but then here Ben kept going. She ends up doing 1 more stride out of the corner there.
But again, you see from a pace point of view, Ben came round there almost on the same pace all the way through. You get quick, then you have to slow down to get it back, and then
exactly, it's actually faster. If you never have to pull on the brake, if you never have to hit the brakes, basically, then you never have to hit the gas again, and there's a slight delay, so that slows you down when you can just keep the numbers. So Ashley just looking like she's really figured out how to get the first rounds done, but as she has to go a little bit faster, just losing a little bit of that control.
Yeah, just
but
coming
again,
out
just
to their natural
developing
rhythm.
it. Yeah, just developing this horse again. And, she wants to try. Ashley's super competitive. She wants to try to be fast. But again, it's one thing to figure out the first round. It's another whole step then to figure out kind of the speed rounds. So Ashley will just keep continuing to figure that out. But again, a beautiful first round out of her. And that means that Ben and Faltic are still our leader.
Richard Vogel of Germany and the Coleridge Equestrians gelding Sidello flew round, as we saw just a couple of weeks ago, on the grass. But again, very different. Had a huge run to the last then on that occasion. I mean, went down there, one of those... Oh. Cross yourself as you're watching it. But he had the confidence to do it, and he knew what he got.
An incredible round. People talked about it, still talking about it for weeks, how fast it was. So,
but this is a different prospect.
It is. And of course...
Would be nice to do the double, though.
Yeah, it would. He would love that.
Actually, Audrey Coulter did that.
Did she?
Yeah, she won the Grand Prix.
On the Chestnut one, right?
Yeah, she won the Grand Prix and the 150 in the same week. On this week.
On this week. Look at that memory.
There you go.
Better than mine. All right, off he goes.
Comes with age.
So he opts for the 7 like Ben. And now how short is he? He's right on that track for Ben. Ben maybe did 1 less stride around the whole turn. He was really quick there. Ooh, he was far away from that. Good move in there. And now he's going to have to be quick across the middle. Oh, he really opened up the stride here. Look at this. Now he's going to have to stay balanced. No. Too much speed. He was really good. He wanted to move forward and be quick, but just had too much speed. So will not pick up the double.
34.44 was actually faster than Ben Mayer. Now, interestingly, Ben was coming out of that golden double towards the last at 29 seconds. He looked a fraction slower, made a little bit up down to the last fence, but has a fence down there just before that for Richard Vogel at the first part of that double. So he goes into second at the moment, but there was a squeak faster time. But,
so
we're talking tenths of seconds.
Exactly, but then that means, though, that we know that Ben's time can be beat. The question is, can any of the remaining riders beat it?
Yeah. Brianne Gautel-Marteau and Brianne with the SNL Farms S&L Marlon. 12 years of age now. Now I haven't really seen her test this horse like this before.
No, exactly.
So
I think, like we said, this horse is a little bit greener at this level. Was a little bit late developing due to, and the first jump coming down. Brutal. So now Brianne just going to think, let's be as neat as possible. Again, only the one double clear at the moment. So she needs to still be quick to stay up in that prize money. Jumping this really well. Looks like she's going for a neat and efficient round, but not lightning fast. And there again, double is hard to jump off of that rollback turn. And we're off of that sort of long run across the middle. And then it's that same kind of thing that we saw to the double verticals. Long run and then turn right and have to jump right away.
Finished on a score of 12.37.81 for Brianne Gautel-Marteau and SNL Marlon this time. Ben Mayer still leading with Fultic HB. Chloe Reed now, halfway point. She's the 6th of 11. Team Reed's crossover forward, as you say, saw them back into action here. Nice round once again for them, more of what we'd expect with a very consistent combination.
Absolutely, very consistent, usually always up in the prizes, and can be very, very fast on this horse. So let's see what Chloe does. Again, I think 7 up the first line is the right move because of the rollback turn after it. She does the nice 7, and now she's going to have to be really neat. She's a little bit wider, but she's got the pace up. Then she steadies up a little bit out of the corner there. She does the 8, gorgeous jump. So she does 8 and an 8. Ben, of course, had done 7 and 7. So Chloe looking like she's just keeping it organized and contained, doing what she thinks is right for her horse.
I'm going to say, and after last night, you want to push but not too much, just keep it sweet. And she's doing a really nice job of that.
Yeah, and it's jumping beautiful.
Yeah.
And so super solid. I think she'll be happy with that double clear to come back after a rough couple of weeks.
And she goes into second regardless.
Yeah, exactly. And with the double clear, she's going into second. So that was a very strategic, good move from Chloe. And super confidence building for both her and the horse.
Just try and push it outside the box, and then you just put under a little bit too much pressure that you don't want to do, which she did sensibly, kept it within the box of what they were capable of. Yeah. Nicely done. Into second spot for Chloe Reed. Ben Mayer is leading Richard Vogel now in third with the fastest of the 4s. Erin Ballard next with Hero for Lanfurder and the Esperanza Rentports. Again, I haven't seen this one really be let loose yet.
No, me neither. So let's see. But we know Erin can be very, very fast. Such a strong rider. Let's see what she can do. I'm excited. Big shot to 1. Does the 7. Ooh, this is tight. This is very tight. She's got to keep moving, and she does. Good shot there. Oh, no, but she has the skinny down behind, like you said. And there again, having the front pole. So she was very good to start, but with the upped pace, she's losing a little bit of height in the jump. So now she slows up a little bit, gives herself a good shot into the double. Does the 7, but with the 2 down.
Yeah, finish on 8:38.24 for Erin Ballard and Hero this time. Still Ben Mayer leading with Fultic HB. Grand Prix winner recently at the World Equestrian Centre, Carlos Sanguerrero up there in Ocala. The Mexican rider with H5 Sport Horses, H5 Chaco San. Back in here now to prove what they can do.
Exactly. They won a class last week. Let's see if they can win another one. I know they would like to. Okay, that time to beat of Ben, 34.74. So we'll keep a look on that time. We know it can be beat, but can they do it and leave the jumps up?
I think that first turn's pretty crucial in there.
It is, absolutely. That first turn, and then, of course, you got to leave the jumps in the cups. Does the steady 7. Pretty neat there.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's quite as neat as Ben's, but it was pretty quick. Stays on the move here. Very good. Gets the 7-7. Now he's got to be quick across the middle here. And then he's got to balance up for this double. Gets a good shot in. And can he do the 6? Ooh, a little far away, and he clears it. Look at that, 34-22, and he gets him.
It's in the lead. It's in the lead. Carlos Sanguerrero of Mexico, H5 Chaco Sa.
Oh, that was a little lucky at the last. He was far off, and he sort of moved up for the 6, and then he kind of eased up where I think he could have kept going a little bit more.
Yeah.
But great effort on the horse's part. Threw his legs down in the middle of the oxer, but cleared it. That was something.
Well, Carlos Sanguerrero now leads, looking to follow on from that Grand Prix win last week. And Ben Mayer in second with Fultic HB.
Like we were saying, confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence.
And it all equates to a cash result this afternoon.
Yes, it does. What everybody wants, and those valuable world ranking points.
Lily Keenan and Agana Van Het Garendel Z. Tidy as they were in that first round. Same sort of stuff again.
Yep.
With pace, and should be up there.
Absolutely. And she can be really fast on this horse. So let's see. She's been placed in almost every class I think she's jumped this horse in this season.
Yeah.
So let's see if she can pick up a win for herself. New time to beat 34-22.
3 clears, so double clears will at worst, you would think, put you probably top 5 in the end.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Got to keep moving.
Yeah.
She kicked on the first part of the turn, then slowed up a tiny bit. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, but she ended up steadying a little bit early, and then she had to go again. And then when she got a little bit flat there, she picks up that front pole behind. Just means the arc of the jump is a little bit off because she moved up again and had the pace a little bit flat for the jump. Goes out, clears the last, but with the 4.
Yeah, it just leaves them on 4. 36.48 for Lily Keenan, so goes into 6th place this afternoon. Richard Vogel, the fastest of the 4 falters, on 34.49. Kathleen Driscoll, top 5. Carlos Sanguerrero still leading at 34.22. 2 to go. Now Nassar, Evergate Stables, ESI Alley for this Irish-bred 9-year-old. Again, unexplored territory here.
Yeah, exactly. Newer horse. Don't know if he's tested really how fast he can go, but Niall is an incredibly fast rider. And I'm sure he would like to win this class. So we know that time. Well, we don't know if this time can be beat because actually Carlos was faster than Richie's time.
Yeah.
So 34.22 is that time to beat. Let's see if Niall and the young 9-year-old can do it. They got to be quick off this first turn. Beautiful there. God, this horse is a beautiful jumper. Quick, but then ends up steadying up right in the turn. Horse has a big stride. Stays out on the 8. That was well ridden, so he's still moving. Don't want to be too direct, otherwise you have to slow down. Remember, you don't want to slow down. You want to be able to stay on the gas the whole time.
He's not far away.
2, 3, 4. Gets the 6. Is he going to get him? No, he is not going to get him, but fast time.
Not far away, 35.27, and goes into 3rd place there for Nal Nassar and ESI Ali. Top 3, like I said, if you were jumping double clear, looking at top 5, which you will be now because we've got 4 of them on a clear. And Carlos Sanguerrero faster off than Ben Mayer at 34.74. A little less experienced ESI Ali and Nal Nassar 35.27. Chloe Reid into 4th and just leaves Andrew Boards and the Bellwyn Farm and TLM Sport Horses Copy Champ.
Absolutely, and I think Niall will be super happy with that double clear round on the 9-year-old. I don't think he will complain about third place at all. Well, he may be fourth, but we're going to see in a minute, because Andrew Bournes is going to be our last to contest that time, 34:22. Can he do it?
Well, it needs to be about half a minute if he's going to do it. We will see. Clears the first, which is a good start. So it's caught a few. Now this turn.
Looks good here. Ooh, it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
And he keeps coming. He's going to have to keep moving, though. So he does the 8. The leader did 7. He does 7 here. But now he's got to run if he's going to catch him. I don't think he's on it. I think Carlos is taking this. But come on, Andrew. Good slice in here. And now he's got to do the 6. Oh, he's going to do 7. So I don't think he's going to catch him. And he's not. But a super round there for Andrew. That means Carlos Hank Guerrero is going to be our winner.
He is. 37.43 for their Andrew Bournes and Copy Champs. So they finish on 4, and they will go they go into 4th place to be exact. So they were clear 37.43. Let me correct that. They go into 4th place for Andrew Bournes of Ireland. It is a win for Carlos Hank Guerrero and H5 Shako San. Well done to them. Flying along. Ben Mayer finishes 2nd with Fultic HB and Nal Nasser in 3rd. With ESI Ali. 4th there for Andrew. 5th place for Chloe Reid. Great comeback there after last night. For Chloe, we cross over 4. Good to see, top 5. Richard Vogel finishes into 6th place then with the fastest 4 falters at 34.44. And then from there, 7th place to Catherine Driscoll, Castelletto. And 8th place to Lily Keenan and Ghana Van Het Garendel said, well done to them. Presentation coming up for our Hermes sponsor class. And then we'll be back with the 2-star Grand Prix a little later. That due 2:30, maybe a fraction behind that. I think we're
a little late.
A little behind that schedule, so we will see. But from there onwards, presentation coming up. Danny and I'll be back for that. Well done to Carlos San Guerrero and H5 Chaco Sa. See you shortly.
It goes like this.
As that victory pass wraps up, now again we'd like to salute those top three, Carlos Hank Guerrero, Ben Maher, and Niall Nasser, but as well in fourth place, Ireland's Andrew Bournes with Copy Champ. He posted a 37.430 time in fourth, with fifth going to Chloe Reed of the USA aboard Crossover 4 in 39.50. Then Ireland's Richard Vogel of Germany in sixth place with Sidello in 34.440 with a 4-fall penalty there. Kathleen Driscoll and Casaletto of the U.S. finishing in seventh. Lily Keenan and Agana Venet Gerendal in eighth. Aaron Ballard of Canada with Hero in 9th. Brianne Goutal-Marteau and SNL Marlon van de Hiffink in 10th. Ashley Bond and Elke de Le Pomme 11th. And Natalie Dean and Shadora Lady in 12th place.